Hello, internet. Are you reading me, internet? Beep boop boop beep boop boop boop. Beep boop 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 beep boop boop. It's me, Greg Miller, broadcasting across the internet. Do you read me? Beep boop 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 beep boop boop. Beep boop 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 boop. All right, it's a good in game. It says hi, Greg. They hear it. They see it. It's happening. You did it. Yeah. Thank you. Hi, Joey. How are you, Joey? Hold on, Joey. Hold on. I forgot how to turn it into more hearing. It's this one, right? Now talk, Joey.
Oh, hello. It's me, Joey.
Don't worry. It's just me, everybody.
Pro streamer.
We're on it. We're bringing that down. We got it, yeah. We got you, team.
Ooh,
we got you,
we
chat
got
team people, folks.
Sound
like I was going to say a cuss word. I wasn't. I swear. I was just doing the balance there, you know what I mean? Continue to give me the audio cues again, ladies and gentlemen. It's me, Greg, blind. Not blind, but you know, this is Kevin's job usually. Barrett's job. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not as good as them. So here we go. So let it go. Good now. Good. Okay. Okay. Good. Seems like it's good. Seems like they're happy. Joey, how are you? What's been happening? Update me. I've been reviewing Doctor Strange. I know why I'm here, of course, but what's going on?
Yes. It's been really good. We hopped around to a lot of games. Mario Party. With that?
Why was the
not cooperating? Not cooperating.
No.
So we got to like round 3, like 4 different times. Where like we got to call it. So then we hopped into a couple of rounds of Fortnite that we played.
Gotcha.
And then Roger's hand started hurting. Then we played.
Roger, what is? He's supposed to be the young one. He's supposed to be able to hang out there and do it.
An old soul, clearly. Then we played some game that I don't really know. It like shows you a movie clip and then you have to fill in like a line. Yeah, we weren't really feeling that. And then we hopped in and played some Quiplash, some TKO, and like hopped around to a bunch of Jackbox games. So we've been keeping people on their toes, hopping around.
Awesome. I love it.
And then we've been doing fundraising for Mississippi, Texas, West Virginia, Kentucky, Arkansas, South Dakota, and now Louisiana.
Ooh.
So yeah, and then Barrett had I have the totals. We're at $1,036.67 for all of these today.
Love it.
And I'm trying to figure out how.
So for people who are going to be joining us momentarily, they click the thing and then they how do they send you the receipt? I know that was something we talked about earlier in the day. I don't know what we decided on.
Yeah. If you go to twitter.com/KindaFunnyVids, all the receipts are under today's like tweet promoting the stream.
Gotcha.
All of the donation links and all of that good stuff. So we got that. Greg, what do you have for us today?
I'm going to play some Rogue Legacy 2 here on my Xbox. I'm trying to craft a tweet right now to say that I'm live, you know? But I'm coming in hot, you know?
Yeah, you got a lot going on.
You need a Twitter code?
I do need a Twitter code. I didn't realize that I got logged out.
No, it's no big deal. Let me open whatever one of the million of authenticators I have.
I know.
You know, why can't it be easy?
I know. I agree. I don't know anything about Rogue Legacy.
Oh, man, you're in for a good time. Hold on, we're about to...
I'm excited.
The code's going to refresh. I'm in the countdown period. Here it comes.
Okay.
There you go.
Hell yeah.
Hold on. I've joined. No, I know there's nothing a chat loves than watching somebody craft a tweet. I've joined the chat. I've joined our charity stream, raising money for abortion funds in state.
Dun. I don't know if we ever thanked Kayla for their donation, but thank you so much for donating to the Arkansas Fund. We appreciate you very much. And then, how was Doctor Strange?
The content or the movie?
The content.
It was great. Great content. You know what I mean? I think it's going to get a lot of people mad at us, which is always helpful. And mainly me and Nick. Come watch some Rogue Legacy 2 and raise some money to fight back against...
Oh, I can look at the chat again.
I've joined our charity stream raising money for abortion funds in states with lawmakers who will likely try to prohibit abortion. Come watch some Rogue Legacy 2 and raise some money to fight back against our stupid country. Twitch.tv/KindaFunny. Too on the nose with the stupid country. You know what I mean? Is somebody else to blame? Supreme Court, our stupid Supreme Court. Chat, let me know. What do you like better there? Country or Supreme Court? Music is bumping. No, it's gonna catch up there. Put a Greg Miller gift on. Country is what Nitro likes. Supreme Court, it's back and forth.
Back and forth.
You want to unify it? Yeah. Stupid politicians. That's not bad either. Stupid politicians pretty good.
Yeah.
I like stupid politicians. Fight back against stupid. Is there a good hashtag going around for all this too, Joey?
Not that I've seen particularly. So I don't know.
Okay.
There's a very loud bird outside of my window.
Start your own, says Christ. Well, what will we put? You know what I mean? Bands off our bodies is that's the one that gets shared. Are we unified behind that right now? I'm not sure. This is the problem with the whole thing. Is I feel like we don't have a unified message. And when I say we don't, I mean like not kind of funny. I mean the entire movement of like, man, we gotta fucking stop it.
Yeah, I feel like I agree with you. I haven't seen a that's a great question.
Planned Parenthood is saying bands off our bodies. That's what they're saying. So we're gonna go with bands off our bodies, everybody. I've joined our charity stream raising money for abortion funds in states with lawmakers who will likely try to come raise funds too and raise some money. Fight back against ours. Against not ours. Fight back against Twitch.tv. Bands off our bodies. Are you using the thing I was talking about before, the KindaFunny.com/charity, or are you doing
Yep.
it? Okay.
Yep, it's on both things.
Kinda funny. Here. Oh, well, that's gonna take off. Hold on, that's more important. Charity. Can I fit donate in there? 5 characters? No. Get rid of this. Bam. And I'll come out here. Yeah, I'll go donate. Boom. Okay, great. Perfect. All right, tweeting. Boom. Now we're back. What's up, everybody? It's me, Greg Miller. How you doing? Thank you for hanging out with us today to raise some funds for a great cause. Of course, as you know, America filled with extremely fucking horrible people, and they are trying to make their presence known as of late, and the fact that they might overturn Roe v. Wade, at which point we all have to get together and fight. And I don't know about you, Joey, but when this happened on Monday, I was livid and completely ruined my Tuesday, and I was bad on content because I was so fucking angry, and I had nowhere to go with the emotions, right? And then of course you and I had briefly talked about doing a charity stream, and you're able to pull it off, and that's what we're doing today. Of course, usually, you know, Kinda Funny streams every day at 11 o'clock, usually signs off around 2 o'clock. I'm here, Greg Miller, to take on the afternoon shift and keep it going here. But Joey, thank you so much for making this happen.
Yeah, it was one of those things where it's like, I have to do something with my anger or I'm just going to sit here and fester in it. So let's do something and hopefully help some people out in the meantime. So here we are.
All right, so now Joey,
I know. And then it was, of course, one of those perfect weeks where it's like, oh, of course you guys have to record because it's the new movie today, and
is there ever
a
slow week at Kinda Funny? You know what I mean? Is there ever a time where you look at the schedule and you're like, this is exactly what we needed for it all to work out? No, it never happens. So we play the hands we're dealt here at Kinda Funny. Everything.
So tell me about Rogue Legacy.
Rogue Legacy, as you can see, is a roguelike here. And so what it is you battle through these little dungeons, Joey, and you earn all this gold, and then eventually you die. And when you die, you come back as one of your heirs. And so you keep the gold you've already had, and then you go back into the dungeon.
Generational wealth.
Yeah, you spend it on power-ups and things to make yourself stronger and make your dungeon run better. Ooh-wee. And you unlock new classes and stuff. Right now I'm playing as a knight, which is one of my favorites, but I think the classes this time around are really great. Like in Rogue Legacy 1, I pretty much would stick only to the night. This time around, I have been switching it up more, and so I think we joined. This was like basically not the start of a run. Well, actually, no, it was the start of a run, but you didn't see me back at home base. So once we're out of here, you'll see me back at home base. But as you see, we go on, and you go through and you get all the stuff, you know. Valkyrie is goat, says somebody over there. Hold on, I can't look at that, and I don't want to get hit by these damn eyeballs.
I can't tell if she's ready or not. But there she is. We have a special guest coming to us.
The busiest lady in the business, Andrea Renee. How are you, Andrea?
What's good?
Not much.
What?
How are you?
I'm wonderful. Should I turn my camera on?
No. I'm not smart enough to have that kind of setup, and so I just do it this way.
Greg is running all of this afternoon stream himself, so we're on like the lo-fi chill vibes for the back-end streaming stuff. But this is perfect timing, Andrea, because we are approaching the top of the hour, which means that we are changing states for our abortion fund that we're supporting, and we're moving on to the beautiful, great state of North Dakota.
Yeah, my home state.
So North Dakota has one abortion provider, and 72% of North Dakota women live in counties without an abortion clinic. It enacted a near total trigger ban in 2007, which would take effect after the legislature approves a recommendation from the state attorney general clearing the maneuver as constitutional. So we got some work to do in North Dakota. Andrea, I know that North Dakota is your home state, and I know that you've had some, like, a lot of medical things go on in the last couple of years that makes you really passionate about what's going on in terms of all of this.
That's an understatement, I think I would say. Anybody who follows me on Twitter, I obviously was tweeting quite a bit after the news broke from Politico earlier this week, and I think a lot of us that have had personal experience, felt an obligation to say, hey, like, this is a real thing that happens to real people. It's not some philosophical debate that is just to be bantered about in internet chat rooms. So, in coming from North Dakota, I know firsthand how important organizations like Planned Parenthood are. I used Planned Parenthood in North Dakota to, get birth control, and I also have a long-standing relationship with them for other women's care. I mean, what a lot of people don't know, and not just about Planned Parenthood, because I don't believe they are the one that provides abortion in North Dakota specifically. In fact, a lot of Planned Parenthoods that are just women's care clinics and not even abortion providers. But I think the thing about abortion is that it's a really kind of misunderstood procedure, and there's like this conventional wisdom that people just decide, hey, I'm just gonna stroll on down and get a little like tuck snip whatever and things are done. It's like, it's actually like far more traumatic than that. So it's not something that people take lightly. But I think regardless of the procedure, the thing that's most important is body autonomy and people having rights over their own body. And we don't force people to donate their organs. We don't force people to donate their blood. They shouldn't be forced into giving birth.
We couldn't force people to wear masks.
I know.
This is what we're gonna do. This is the fucking move.
So stupid. Oh my goodness. And I think, obviously, I'm sure you guys have already talked about the broader implications to several other laws that are kind of built upon the back of the privacy arguments in Roe v. Wade and, the Casey case as well. So I think, there's a lot at stake here.
Right.
And,
this is a slippery slope. You saw it in the leaked statement, right, where it's like they clearly want to take this and then use it against a bunch of other laws, stuff that would get into being gay in our country, being gay marriage in our country, like
interracial marriage as well.
Exactly.
I mean, which is wild.
Right? It's so ridiculous to think that some things that we just take as ingrained rights in our society now could potentially be at risk because there are just really hateful people out there.
Yeah. And then it's like the thing, I forget what it was, that's like, essentially anything that's like not covered in the Constitution, which is like, there's a lot of things we weren't able to do, like women weren't able to own land or bank accounts and feel like it's a slippery slope to like a lot of things having precedence for maybe being taken away.
And it's when
well, if you didn't have,
people are like, oh, don't get doom and gloom, don't go jump to the extremes. Like, we are living the motherfucking extreme right now. You know what I mean? Like, the having that conversation, we're done. We're done having that conversation now with the fact that all 5 of these justices lied about what precedent meant to them and what they would do with it and what that meant for Roe v. Wade. And now they're trying to take this back and strip things away. And obviously, where would they stop? How can we ever trust them to do any of this again? And that's why right now, not only do we have to donate to these funds, you have to make your voice heard. You have to be using anything you have. I don't care how many Twitter followers you have, how few you may think you have. You need to get out there and have these conversations. You need to go to protest locally. You need to do whatever you can to make sure you're heard that this is unacceptable and this isn't the country we know.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and I think the thing that, Joey was referencing when it comes to my personal experience is in that Greg was there for kind of up close and personal, was that I had to have a procedure after an ectopic pregnancy that happened to me like literally a week before E3 2019 when we were supposed to co-host EA Play together. And there are several bills that have been proposed in the last 5 years, the most recent being Missouri's, that would ban abortion procedures in the case of ectopic pregnancies, which is bonkers to think about because ectopic pregnancies are not viable. They, in fact, cannot be reimplanted. It is medically impossible. Trust me. I asked my doctors. I was desperate for any way to save, my pregnancy, and they're just like, no, there's just no way to save it. If we don't, address it, like you could die. And I did almost die. I had a ruptured fallopian tube that was hemorrhaging internally and required emergency surgery, all of which might have been not possible if abortion is outlawed. So that's a really big deal.
And that's the thing, I think, people want to get so hung up on what this means for abortion and what this means for unborn children and ignore what this means for women. What this means for your mother, your sister, your wife, anybody you know. If you just a human being, honestly, who's been alive for X number of years on the face of the planet, rather than a couple of cells inside of a body right now, and what that means and how this would shake out, and like the hypocrisy of these people to come at you and tell you that they're pro-life when they then turn around and don't want medicine for everybody. They don't want free healthcare. They don't want to take care. They don't want a livable minimum wage. They don't want. The list goes on. Of like what are we actually talking about? And what we're actually talking about here, ladies and gentlemen, is control, and having control over women, and having control over the most vulnerable of women, the poor, right? The folks who can't think for a second. Like, there's so many people that this would affect, but then there's also so many people of, if they needed an abortion, right, they could go to another state. Now, granted, plenty of these laws they're trying to pass are saying, well, actually, that'd be criminal and we'd try to fine you and yada, yada, yada. Again, that would be used to target groups. That wouldn't be targeting everybody. There'd be plenty of people who go off, get their abortion somewhere else, and then come back to their home state or wherever they want to live. And it's because they have the means. We're talking about keeping the poor poor. We're talking about keeping the people under your thumb that you can, and making them feel like they're less than human so they don't go out and vote, so they don't make these changes.
Amen.
Yeah, and I think the criminalization of all, like, anybody, doctors that are performing these in these states or people that are helping people is also interesting, because if you criminalize it and you make it a felony, then those people can't vote, and those are the kinds of votes that they want to suppress. And there's just so many layers, and it's so exhausting,
Yeah. So again, this is the moment, like, to fight, and I feel like I'm right there with you. I'm exhausted by it. I wish we didn't have to fight. I wish we could just play Rogue Legacy and talk about what a great job Cellar Door Games has done on this game. But we can do that, but we also have to sit there and be like, listen, you got to use everything you got right now to say this isn't okay, and try to see if, it's a pipe dream probably that they'll change it or step down, but at least, for the many, many warts and problems with Gavin Newsom, at least he's standing up. And you have other governors across the country signing the same letter saying, hey, like, this isn't going to fly in our state. We're going to try to get it there. We're going to try to protect it. Will they is a different thing. You got to stay on every one of these politicians. You can't take them to their word. But that's where we're at right now, where you need to be active and you need to be paying attention. And I know, trust me, I know it's easier to say, well, you know what, I'd rather talk about Doctor Strange, play the video game, and not worry about anything else. Like, we got to get out there and we got to protect people. We got to try to do this. Otherwise, it's a runaway, and before you know it, and I know it sounds alarmist, but before you know it is Handmaid's Tale. Like, that is what people want. That is what the other side wants. And not to mention the fact they're ignoring poll after poll saying this isn't what the majority of America wants. Like, it's ridiculous out there right now.
Sure is. And Rudy, you're welcome. I'm happy to share my experience if it helps kind of open people's eyes and opinions about the risks associated with this and why clearly people like us and so many others are so vocally outspoken about it, and why it's so important to help people who need help getting the care that they need. So I think it's awesome that KindaFunny is taking their platform and raising money for a great cause today. When Joy was like, hey, you want to jump on the stream? I was like, absolutely. Let me see if I can convince my husband to hold the baby for a little bit. Which wasn't obviously too hard to convince him, but I just had to make sure he didn't have any, actual work to do, which he does.
He would have less work to do if he would just greenlight the Small Watto game. Just listen to the people.
He might be listening right now, so
I know
think
he is.
Everyone
He
just
always is.
Tweet to add John T. Drake and let him know about Small Watto. I have to say, though, once you find a developer, Greg, they have to get line. I don't know if you've noticed that there's a lot of Star Wars games in development right now.
That's why this is the perfect time to slip it in. Oh, come on. Slip it in on a spreadsheet. Just have it be there. Nobody's going to notice, John. It'll be fun.
Who's your dream developer for your Small Watto game?
Literally anyone John will let happen. You know what I mean? As long as we get the game, I don't care who does it, Andrea. Beggars can't be choosers.
Beggars can't be choosers. Oh, see, here I was thinking that maybe you had somebody in mind. You're like, well, actually, I was thinking about this kind of game specifically.
Well, if we're going to just throw names out there, what about a drink box? You know what I mean? Have they not shown us how great they can be? And they need a big breakout. Again, nobody saves the world out now. Lots of people like it. Some people at KindaFunny don't. Like, it's one of those things that, yeah, sure, that's a great game. But if you put Star Wars in front of it, we're going to get more eyes on drink box than anybody.
I've had enough. I've had enough.
John's taking the microphone.
My baby and watch Twitch about abortion rights like a responsible parent, and I can't enjoy my passive entertainment without being heckled about Small Watto by this chaos agent who's doing a surprisingly good job playing roguelites too, I suppose.
Literally dies.
But like, you just died, but that's fine. Like, stop. Just stop it. Stop it. You and Anthony Carboni are both bad people, and you should feel bad. That's all I'm saying.
We'll see who's laughing when that gets you your promotion. All right?
The things that would give me a promotion being Small Watto game is just inconceivable. Greg. It's inconceivable.
You gotta think outside the bun. That's what they say at Taco Bell. You gotta think about that. Like you could apply that to your job.
Deep crushing sigh. Everything about you is a deep crushing sigh.
I understand. I respect that. All right, so Joey, here you go. See, now I've died. So now you come back and you have I've unlocked throughout you with the gold I've used before. I've unlocked different classes. So now I get a random draw from my classes, and every one of my heirs has obviously their own class, weapons and different things. But then they all have different traits. So like you can look down there at traits and see like, okay, this guy's a compulsive hoarder. You never know when you need backup. All relics are twin relics when possible, right? Which will be a bonus up there. Then this guy's got stuff I don't even know about yet what that would do, but he would give me 50% more gold as I play. And then you could really get crazy and you go with this pacifist who gives me 150% gold. However, can't deal damage. So you have to just run from everything and knock them back into whatever.
Yeah.
So if you're just out for gold, that's a good one, but I'm going to go with my mage here. Sir Joey the Second. Joey, how's your name?
What? Oh, there we go.
So Joey the Second? I like it.
I want to give a shout out to James. Thank you so much for your donation. Ashley, thank you so much for your donation. That brings our total for the day to $1,161.67.
Woo!
Woo, woo, woo.
And Joey, if people donate, how do they show you again or that they've donated?
I've been putting the link in the chat, but you just reply to our stream tweet on twitter.com/KindaFunnyVids with your receipt. Since it's not like a Tiltify thing, and we're trying to share the love with all of these states today. Andrea, how is life? Are you playing Rogue Legacy? Is this an Andrea game?
I think you know the answer to that question before I even answer it. I think the real thing that people want to hear us talk about, though, is how in my debut this week, in KindaFunny Wrestling, Midday Mayhem, I almost beat you. Almost.
You did.
Beat you. I thought for sure I had it.
It looked
honestly,
good for a while.
That was a really long match, and I was not confident that I had you at all. But I think that means that we're due for a rematch at some point in the future.
Oh, you haven't seen the last of Andrea Renee and Johnny Cashinova in KFW. I'll let you know, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
I feel like
Johnny Cashinova. I'm anxious to see him.
Yeah, I was bummed when I was like, god dang it. Like, I had this whole thing. I had the guys make take John and he was already made a character, but they went through and spruced up his face a bit, and it was like, all right, cool, this will be great. And then I was like, I can't put him in as manager. God damn it.
I was just hoping that I would win so I could make some kind of witty post about finally getting my payback for the Overcooked betrayal.
Sure.
Which
never forget.
Hashtag never forget.
Oh, I know. I feel like Andrea has been on the unfortunate side multiple times of my brain not being fully functional. Thanks to Connor Bennett for your donation, by the way. We're at $1,200 for the stream today.
Nice. Oh, I hit the wrong button. Sorry. But I have to say, I'm very impressed with my debut. I thought it was a very exciting main event.
Oh, it was a great main event.
If people are in the stream and you guys missed it, youtube.com/KindaFunny games.
Correct. Yeah, yes. KFW goes up on Tuesdays there, yeah.
There you go. You can watch it.
And we're coming up on our next pay-per-view, of course. Memorial Day Brawl.
Oh, is that what you guys ended up going with? I was watching the pre-show with you and Snowbike Mike, where you were taking suggestions from chat about potentially changing the name.
Yeah, we hadn't picked one yet, and so it was, do we want to worry about sticking with alliteration or whatever? But, like, you know, when Campfire Design makes such a great logo, you gotta just say, you know what, we're going with it. So
it was a very nice logo.
I mean, I feel like I missed that somehow.
You don't watch
in the the hour-long pre-show.
Listen, Andrew, you don't want a 3-hour-long episode of Midday Mayhem, all right? The world couldn't take it, so something's got to give.
It's true. I was watching it and I was like, so when does the wrestling start?
Yeah,
and John's like, oh, I think this is just the break between the morning shows and the wrestling. And I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, you can. It's usually smarter to catch it on youtube.com/KindaFunnyGames. Otherwise,
look
it's me
who's
and
in
Mike
the
being
chat.
morons.
Rihanna Twitches now.
Woo! Yay!
Thanks for tweeting about the event, Rihanna. That was great.
Oh yeah, Memorial Day Brawl. That does look really great. I'm excited about that.
Do you have any previews for us, Joey, on your involvement in the brawl?
I do not. It's been a long week.
The PR line you're looking for is, we are not discussing that.
I have nothing to announce at this time.
I was trying to remember. I was like, that was so. The beginning of Monday was so long ago, and I have nothing to confirm or deny this time.
Yeah, who have I recorded a promo about?
And I don't even think I know necessarily. Maybe I do know.
No, you don't know. It's another one, you know, second verse, same as the first. Joey's still trying to prove that she's the toughest person out there, so she's just...
I'll take anybody at this point.
Exactly. She's issuing open challenge after open challenge. But as you know, we are recording 2 shows back-to-back. And so I'm excited to see what happens with you on episode 1, or I guess episode 5, technically. But episode 6, I'm very excited to show you what I have planned for you.
I'm so excited.
Oh my god! This is a new world and it's crazy.
I have to say, Greg, I'm impressed that you can still focus on this while we're chatting, because I would have like just complete gamer face.
Sure, I understand. Now, what I love about Rogue Legacy, you know, Rogue Legacy 1 was my first like roguelite I fell in love with and played on Vita and beat and had just a ball with. And what I appreciate so much about it is I think it's honestly a perfect streaming game, because it is, if I die right there, it's like whatever. I come back with the gold and I get to put that into making the next run better, or my runs after that better. So it's really how much you want to go and focus on it and what you want to go. And then obviously it's still so early, so I'm still learning a bunch of stuff. Like masochism is this guy's trait. Let's see what that's gonna be. Let's see what is that gonna be. It's not gonna be good for me, but I'll try it out and see what's up. And so you get to go in there, you experiment, you die, you come back, you worry about it later.
So Joey, John said he texted you.
Yes, he did text me a very, very generous donation, which brings our total for the day to $1,700.32 and 32.27. Yeah, my brain not working. But thank you. We've greatly increased our goal or our donations for the stream. A lot of love to North Dakota. Woo! This gave us Andrea.
Yeah.
I had the privilege of visiting with you a few years ago. Got to get the Andrea Renee hometown tour. We had a great time.
Yes, it was so much fun. We were there for Extra Life because much like the abortions fund that we are raising money for today, all kinds of charities in North Dakota kind of get overlooked because we're in that clump of states in the middle that some people think don't exist or aren't important, but they are. And we were raising money for the Sanford Children's Hospital of Fargo, North Dakota, as part of Extra Life funds, and we had a great time. We were at a local gaming / esports center in Fargo, which was wild to me growing up, thinking that something like that could ever exist. It was really cool, and we did a lot of goofy stuff that day.
We did. Andrea dressed up like a banana.
Yes,
there was a lot of face paint.
Yep, I remember that. We did a thing where if you donated X amount of dollars, Brittany and I would draw on each other's faces. I tell you, at the end of the day, we did not look well.
No, and we also kind of forgot that we had the face paint on and then went out to do other things and got some weird looks and we weren't really quite sure why. I want to shout out Dylan. Thank you so much for donating. We are up to $1,836 for the stream today. We're getting there, people.
Nice.
Do we have a goal, Jim?
No. No.
Okay.
We were just trying to hit as many states as possible. There's still definitely more on the list, so I'm hoping that at some point we'll be able to do a part 2.
For sure.
Hit the rest of these states to make sure that we're helping out everybody that we can.
Yes, that's right, but Andrea Renee, you know what I think I need to do, even though I don't know when or how to do this, is to take the GIF of me that Corey made of me in my banana costume and make it into an animated Twitch emote.
Oh. Yeah, because they do have like the Giphy ones now.
Yeah, right?
But I also don't know how to do those.
That's going to be like 2 or 3 Google searches for me to figure out.
Oh, the chat will have it done in a second. Give it 2 seconds. They'll have it done.
Oh my goodness.
Because I don't think we don't have any, but Mike has some and Andy has some. So some people know how to do them.
What a surprise.
They just don't
Mike and Andy not helping the team, just helping themselves.
Oh, look, there they are. There's the emotes. Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Those are good.
I think we'll...
Yeah, I like that Twitch added those. I think it's a nice thing. I definitely miss streaming on Twitch. It's one of the things I miss the most since having my baby and having to really kind of step back from doing as much production as we were doing in the beginning of the pandemic. I really loved getting into Twitch during the pandemic when I wasn't traveling so much and I had time to stream.
Sure.
And now it's just sad to me. I'm like, oh. I come out here and I look at our Twitch channel. It's like we haven't streamed in months, and I'm like, no.
You know, today you were able just to give the baby to John and walk away. Maybe you can do that.
You know, it's something that I've contemplated, and he's in support of.
Sure.
But we're in the process of looking for some new child care.
Wow. Got a life
getting some help. Yeah, I mean, it's tough out there. On the podcast last week, Brittany and I were kind of lamenting about, the lack of freedom that new parents have, and we had said to everybody listening, hey, if you have a friend who's a parent, check on them and make sure that they're doing okay. It's important that you make sure that their mental health is in a good place, because it's been a rough couple of years for parents with kids of all ages.
Oh, I hear maybe some Discord noises. Do we have another special guest
yes, there
in?
Is a he
no,
left.
Maybe not.
And he's back.
Who's joined the
And he's gone.
Maybe some technical difficulties. Maybe we'll have a guest later in the stream. We got Trisha in the chat. Hi, Trisha.
Hi, Trisha.
What's good? Did she bring the Dragon Riders over?
I don't know. I have been touch and go with keeping an eye on the chat. But yeah, right now it's 3:15. We're in the middle of our North Dakota fundraising segment. We got Andrew and Renee here. We have maybe another guest here figuring stuff out. So thank you guys for hanging out with us. We'll be going till 5 o'clock this afternoon, which is always a fun Friday. I like when we stream long on Fridays.
Yeah, bring it into the weekend.
Mother's Day weekend. Andrea, this is your first Mother's Day, right?
It is. We did like a mini pre-celebration last year, and just as like a hey, it's almost time. Baby's almost fully cooked kind of a thing.
The better part of a year growing this baby. I feel like you
we're close enough.
Get the credit for it.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't do anything like too wild last year because I was like 9 months pregnant. But it was nice and chill. So yeah, this is my first official, and we're having a couple friends over and just doing like a little Mother's Day like barbecue at our house, and it should be nice.
I love that. That sounds great.
What are y'all doing on Mother's Day?
Oh, that's a great plan. That's a great question. I'm trying to figure out if I'm going home this weekend or another weekend. But the flowers that I sent for my mom did get there yesterday. They got there very early.
Yeah.
Which
did you do the same? I ordered mine. I was like, delivery on Sunday, and they're like, yo, are you chill with them being delivered any time between Friday and Sunday because it's crazy? I was like, yeah, no problem. And then immediately this morning they were like, they're delivered. I'm like, all right, well, thank you.
Honestly,
I'm driving up to see my
mommy tomorrow.
Oh, Jared Petty.
Exactly.
Hiya.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, driving up to see my mommy tomorrow.
Please welcome to the stream, the Reverend Jared Petty. Hello, Jared.
Hello, greetings. I think I'm supposed to be here right now, but I'm not sure. So.
I said you could come through whenever you want to. Don't worry about it. You're fine. You're always
okay.
welcome.
Good. I just want to make
like Cheers. You can come through whenever you want.
Okay, good. I was worried I hit the wrong button there for a second. I suck at Discord so bad. I'm like, I think I'm on the stream now. Oh crap! I was trying to DM somebody. So there we go.
You got it.
I'm really bad at Discord.
Have you ever met Andrea before Andrea's here?
I've heard of Andrea Renee. Yeah, she's I've heard a rumor she's the busiest lady in the business. Correct. How's that small person of yours, Andrea, that I've never met?
She's doing really well. She's just recovering from some kind of sinus infection / cold. So we went to a wedding of one Rihanna Manuel Pena, who was in the chat last weekend.
Yay.
Or I guess it was the weekend before.
I was going to say, that was not last weekend, was it? Oh my God. That would have been like time dilation.
And John got a little something from our travels, and I managed to be okay for the first week, and then the baby got it, and then I got it. I was only sick for a couple of days, but the baby's been sick for like a week, so we finally had to take her to the doctor, but she's doing okay now. I mean, kids are pretty resilient, but she's good. And it was funny you say that because we just had Maud Garrett on What's Good, who is wonderful. If you guys don't follow Maud, she's great. And I told her, I was like, between her and Trisha and Alana, I feel like I can't take busiest lady in the business as my moniker anymore. I feel like I've been usurped and I need to pass the crown. And Brittany very nicely was like, well, you are still busy, but in a different way. And I was like, that's fair.
And you're still in the business, so okay.
That's true. Yeah. That's true.
So are you now are you like the busiest lady in the business emeritus? Like, is that how it works?
Yeah, it's a forever title.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I don't really know what that word means, so I'm just going to say yes.
That's like when you're a professor and then you quit, but you're still like kind of attached to the university, and you're like, you were that, and you're always that, but also somebody else has taken the title.
Well, it's like a legacy title, right?
I don't think I'm quite ready to quit, but...
Oh, no, it doesn't mean you quit either. No. Oh, I'm just doing it worse. I'm just inept and terrible, Andrea. I'm so sorry. I miss you.
I miss you too. How are you? How is everything over at Limited Run Games?
Things at Limited Run are delightful. We just opened a retail store, and people came from all over the country, and that was really groovy. So we're moving into our second weekend of that, and they've been really good to me. I get to write books, and I'm working on game stuff, and I'm just doing all kinds of fun things. So I'm really liking it. I'm sitting on a porch in North Carolina smoking a cigar right now. Sun's going down.
You have a week?
Me? So normally, I don't smoke even one a week.
Okay.
But this week I've had a couple of things to celebrate, so I've actually smoked like 2 this week.
Okay.
I usually only smoke them when I'm celebrating or really depressed. One of the two.
But they've been good ones though. They've been happy cigars this time.
Oh yeah, this is a happy cigar. I just got back from my doctor, got a lot of good news today.
Hey!
So I'm having a celebration cigar. Yeah, got a lot of good news about the old diabetes today. So hooray!
Oh, good.
But enough.
Yay.
Yeah, what about you, Andrew, Renee? You and John and the little one. If you all have covered this already, I apologize. But how you doing?
I'm doing
Outside of
good. You know, I think that what's interesting is that, you know, we're coming up on our What's Good Games 5-year anniversary,
Wow.
and so that's been
Wild.
I know. It's really crazy to think about because, you know, we launched What's Good just like 1 month before KindaFunny Games Daily launched.
Yeah.
And so I think, you know, there's always a lot of like reflection for me on, you know, my time in San Francisco and obviously starting What's Good and, you know, my time with KindaFunny. And so I've been a little wistful this week in preparation for, you know, our anniversary stream, which Brittany and I are going to be doing next Saturday, the 14th. So if people want to come on by and join us, we haven't nailed down a time yet, but just keep an eye on, you know, my Twitter account. But it's been good, you know, really kind of reflecting. And we always do compilation videos every year because we do test records before we start recording every week. And a lot of those recordings that I record during the testing every week kind of are left on the cutting room floor, as it were. And the compilation anniversary video is usually the first time that our audience gets to see some of those like never before seen clips of us like being goofy and dumb and weird. And just kind of going back and looking at those is always a fun experience. So I'm excited.
Well, you're never dumb, but you're always weird, so that's good.
I don't know. Sometimes we say some really silly off the wall things in our bits between when recordings start, which I'm sure Joey and Greg know all about with how much recording they do every week.
What's Good Games is still pretty much the first place I go just to hear people muse and amuse. I love watching and listening to y'all. It makes me so happy.
Oh, thank you, Jared. I appreciate the support, and we love that you love the show.
I do. How are you, Joey Noel?
I'm good. It's been
It was so good seeing you last month.
No, it was such a fun surprise. I remember we walked into the mix and we were like, Limited Run has a thing upstairs. I wonder if Jared's here. And such a fun little reunion to get to run into so many people. Because I never know who's going to show up at those things, but I always know I'm going to see people that I haven't seen in a while. So it was a pleasure to get to hang out with you.
Okay, I got to run into you and Kevin and Paula and Blessing and Barrett was there, and it was just I was just like, yay, happy dance. So it was pretty
delightful.
Lovely. Yeah, that was the first time seeing y'all in 2 years, I think. So holy crap!
I know. I feel like time just flies by when we're all just hanging out at home for the most part. Shout out to Connor. Thank you so much for your donation, Connor. That brings our total for the day to $1,900, everybody.
Woo! Oh, come on. Let's get us to 2,000, ladies and gentlemen. Come on.
I feel like we can very easily get us to 2,000.
Yeah, we got 4 more minutes for North Dakota,
4
right?
minutes.
Exactly. /charity.
Is it just North Dakota people giving, or is that the plan?
No, it's everybody. It's everybody.
Wait, what are we at right now? We're at 1,900. Okay, how do we fix this? Let's see. Let's find this link. I think we can.
KindaFunny.com/charity will take you where we need to go.
We gotta get Greg on the Tiltify train so we can get like the meter on screen.
So here's the thing.
Wait,
we normally do Tiltify. No. So we normally for our charity streams do Tiltify, but because we wanted to hit so many different states, there was like not a good way to.
Yeah, so it's not
do
me,
that on
Andrea.
Tiltify.
All right, I could do Tiltify if you wanted.
Not to mention that Tiltify a little bit lacking in their women's health options for fundraising, which is a little bit disappointing to see. So we sourced some different links.
Well, I appreciate you going the extra mile to make sure to represent different parts of the country that, as I mentioned at the top of the hour, get overlooked, my home state. And there are lots of women there that need your support. So thank you to everybody who has donated and to who is watching the stream today, even if you can't give funds. Just being here and supporting KindaFunny and their mission to help people live better lives is important.
There's one provider location in North Dakota right now, is that correct?
There is, yes, and 72% of North Dakota women don't live in that county.
Oh.
So, I know.
Yeah, North Dakota is a shockingly big state. I know our population isn't very large, but geographically it is quite big, and it can be very difficult to get around many times of the year because of the inclement weather.
Oh yeah, it was real windy when we were there too.
Oh yes,
which was not something that I expected in North Dakota weather.
Really?
I don't know why I didn't think wind. I feel like Chicago just has my mental, all of the wind is in Chicago and that's it.
Because of the giant lakes. Yeah. So what's interesting about the wind is that it's always present in North Dakota. In fact, it's all my dad ever talks about whenever we, first get to talking. He's like, oh, well, the wind was doing this today. And I was like, Dad, it's always windy. You know this. You've lived there your whole life. But the reason why there's so much wind is because of the way that the glaciers carved this giant path down the middle of the continent way back in the day. And we get these things called Alberta Clippers that come down from Canada.
What a name.
They're the
inverse. So it's fucking Canada's fault.
I mean, it technically is Canada's fault, but technically it's the whole continent's fault before Canada existed. It's basically the inverse of the Santa Anas that we get here in Southern California.
Oh.
So in Cali, we get these warm wind patterns that come up from Mexico, and North Dakota gets the inverse. They get these cold, biting winds that come down from Canada.
Anyway,
there's your reason for the wind in North Dakota.
I think we just hit 2,000 under the wire. So.
Ooh!
Oh! It's 329. And Craig curses under his breath.
Yeah, I'm not cursing North Dakota, I swear. Just moves that I shouldn't have been making, and they're coming back to home.
Oh my goodness. So Joey, what's our total at? It's 330.
It's 3:30. I haven't seen any more receipts come through the Twitter feed yet, but I'll give people time since it's kind of a convoluted process that we have at this point. But
thank you for putting up with it, Lacey.
Yes. Thank you we're about to swap over to a Greg Miller state.
Hey!
We got the great state of Missouri, which also has just one abortion provider, and 78%
terrible abortion.
I know.
Yes.
78% of Missouri women live in counties with no abortion clinic, and Missouri has a trigger ban intended to prohibit all abortion, as well as an 8-week abortion ban that's currently blocked from taking effect. But if all of this goes through, that will also be enacted. So we are updating everything as we speak.
All right. Well, thank you to everybody who has been donating.
Yeah, thank you for everyone who's been donating, hanging out. We appreciate all of you. All of our links, kindafunny.com/charities updated. If you click !charity in the chat, you'll be able to go there as Greg chips away at Rogue Legacy 2, which I realize has been frozen on my screen, so it didn't look like Greg was playing.
Oh, sorry. It's definitely frozen. I'm putting out my tweet about Missouri.
Oh, no. This was from hours ago. I think I just
hanging. I thought it was done.
Is there any finishing this game though?
Oh yeah. I mean, you can keep playing, but there's definitely an ending to go through and beat the final boss and all that. Jared, where did you come down on Rogue Legacy?
Oh, go ahead. Sorry. What's that?
I was asking you, where did you come down on Rogue Legacy?
Oh, I love Rogue Legacy. Roguelikes in general, I've been playing them since, I'm a PC game guy, so Rogue started on PC, and I've kind of been playing roguelikes since, Rogue. So any game that forces you to go through in one perfect run, I'm a big fan of, and I play just about anything I can get my hands on that comes from that direction. So I really dig it. What about you, Greg?
Oh, I loved it so much on Vita. the sequel's so good. I'm having such a great time with it.
Got the kind of Castlevania-ish vibe. It's really funny. It's really bright and wonderful and creative, and it surprises you a lot. I love games where you think you know what's going to happen, and then suddenly they throw some kind of curveball at you. And Rogue Legacy is great about that. So, is this an Andrea game? I don't even know.
No, it's definitely not an Andrea game. I really struggle with games where you learn through death, and it's just for me like not a normal type of gameplay experience that I flock to. Now, I'm not saying that I shut the door on all like roguelikes or roguelites, as it were. You know, I enjoy certain ones and have found, you know, the way that the design elements are changing to be really intriguing. But most of the really classic types of roguelikes, I'm not the person who gets off on the skill-based like masochism of it all.
My thing, Andrea, is I'm with you, and that's honestly something that turns me off from a lot of them too. I don't think Rogue Legacy feels that way. Like, you know, I know that's weird if you're just watching it and I don't know, like, I don't feel like I'm being punished and losing. I do feel like I'm making progress. Like, I have a whole war chest of gold I'm about to go spend once I make my donation to the Missouri Fund here. Like, I feel like there is actually, like, forward momentum for it. That makes it feel in a different way of, like, something like Spelunky I could just never get into.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rogue Legacy, like, steals a lot from Dragon Quest. It's like, if you just keep playing, eventually you will win.
Yep. Exactly.
You know, it will always help you get stronger and stronger. It's got that classic, almost like 8-bit RPG design from the NES era, where, like, if you're just willing to commit enough time to getting stuff, you can win. But they make the getting stuff a lot of fun, so it's not a chore. But I totally get not getting into like classical roguelikes. It's my thing, but I think there's something wrong with me, and that's where that comes. What about you, Joey? Do you play them?
No, I'm kind of with Andrea of like, this is not my preferred gaming thing.
But Joey,
Plus,
look how cute it is.
It is very cute. Plus, it's platforming is also like not really my vibe, and I'm just not good at it. So that's kind of like another strike.
Yeah, it's like a 1-2 punch of things you probably wouldn't enjoy. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I know, but it's always such a bummer because these games always look so cute, and I want to play them, and then it just
that's how I feel about
they just
Pokemon.
get way too frustrating.
Every Pokemon, I jump back. I'm like, this is going to be the one. It's so cute. It's so fun, and it never happens. I don't know what's wrong with it.
Well, you know, sometimes you just need a break from the thing that you think you're gonna like and to try something new, like Nintendo Switch Sports. It's not at all exactly like the thing that came before it.
I like that.
I see what she's doing.
Hey, I'm going to see my mommy this whole week. I'm bringing Switch Sports with me. The family is going to have fun. I'm looking forward to. There are very few things we can all do together and enjoy, but my parents are into Wii Sports, so we should have a good time.
Andrew, what are you playing these days? What are you finding time to play?
Not much, Greg,
Yeah.
if I'm being honest. Haven't found time to play much. I did download Memoir Blue on my Switch, which I'm excited to check out. It's a little indie game.
Yep.
Nintendo Switch Sports, as I mentioned. I did finally move my Animal Crossing island from my old OG Switch to the new OLED Switch that we got. And I, puttered around on my island for a little bit and thought, oh, wouldn't it be fun to like completely redo a bunch of things? And then I was like, LOL, when am I gonna have time to do that? But I did, and Joey's probably gonna be happy about this, finally download and buy some stuff in Fortnite.
Hey!
Yay!
So I've heard
Time to play some no build?
with no build happening that people are having some fun in Fortnite. So I like shooters. They're kind of my go-to genre. And I think that maybe it's time that I revisit and check it out.
This is so exciting. For so long, it's just been me and Lauren. We got Ree to check it out. We have you interested. Rhea wants in on it. We're going to have ourselves a full squad. And this is very exciting.
Yeah.
I feel like it's rare for our friend group to find something that we're all playing.
It's true. I thought we had high hopes for either like Tiny Tina's, Wonderlands, or even like back in the day, like when Outriders first came out, we were playing that. But it's just like, I think our style of games just kind of changes and shifts. We did make a stump for you to get into Destiny, but clearly that didn't go so well.
But I was like, oh, this seems like so much. And then I was getting so much FOMO because you guys were all playing Elden Ring together, and I was like, I can't do it.
I legit think Fortnite is one of the greatest video games ever made.
For sure.
And it's has some of it's the beautiful accessibility across so many platforms, some of it's that it's free, some of it's the great design, but it just hits this sweet spot where I know very few people that try it that don't really enjoy it. It's so good. Just so good.
Yeah.
A good gameplay loop. And even when you're not like winning, it's still fun, which normally is not the case for if I'm not good at a game and I'm not winning. I usually just stop playing. But there were years where I would get like maybe 1 kill a night. But kept going. I like it.
Yeah, it's me anytime I play Fortnite. I just pretend I'm Katniss Everdeen until I die.
Nice. I like it. But I do have to jump off to go back to baby duty. I wanted to pop on and, say thank you for your time, for doing this for the community. And I personally appreciate you guys doing it. And I miss you guys. I miss everybody.
We miss you, Andrea. Love you.
Miss you.
Miss you so much.
I'll see you in a couple weeks, but
yeah, exactly.
I've gotten a lot
all
of
the blessings of heaven and earth be on you, Andrew. You're just one of the best people. Bless you.
Oh, thank you so much, Jared. I really appreciate that. And I hope everybody in the chat has a wonderful weekend and a happy Mother's Day to everybody. And, keep fighting the good fight.
Amen.
All right, later, y'all.
Bye, Andrea.
Bye.
Bye, Andrea.
Remember, you can fight the good fight, ladies and gentlemen, by going right now to kindafunny.com/charity. We are currently on the 30 minutes. We're raising money for the Missouri Abortion Fund to try to stop some of the horrible fucking laws they have going on over there. In a great state, full of great people.
Yeah.
Lovely.
We're up to $2,031.27 thanks to Greg, of course, representing his not home state, but secondary home state, Flag, and then Emmett coming in with a couple donations for North Dakota and his home state of Georgia. A lot of different places that could use your help these days.
Yeah, I'm here in North Carolina. I'm very worried about what's about to happen. It's frightening. We have an anachronistic law in the books, but I suspect the second this is through the door, that provision here is going to go right out the window. Which stinks because population-wise, this is about the most purple place I know. And I think that if you were to put it to a popular vote here, very easily, choice rights, abortion rights would be protected by the population. But like so many parts of the country, right now there's kind of a theocratic gerrymander going on, and that's really painful for me. So I don't know how much we're talking about the principles behind the thing, but the hardest part of this for me, sometimes coming from a religious background, is watching the co-opting of so much of that by political forces and how that ties into this and victimizes just innocent people that are trying to get through their lives, and it really troubles me. Sorry, I hope that wasn't rambling.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's the whole point of this, Jack. Don't worry about that. The whole point is to get out here and remind people how stupid this is and how a whole bunch of different things are being twisted and used for the wrong reasons by the wrong kind of people to justify horrible things for a whole bunch of different people.
Yeah. It's just, I hope that, and God knows who's out there listening right now. Not every person of faith is out there to take everybody's rights away. And I'm very frustrated by, I've watched this happening my whole life, watched this idea transform from an ethical question to a political movement that's largely about keeping some pretty nasty people in power and taking power away from others. And that's, from my theological perspective, that's like the opposite of what's supposed to happen. Where faith is not about ruling over other people and telling them what they have to do. Again and again and again, we're warned against that. And it's going to be weird. I'm preaching for the first time in years this Sunday.
Oh, wow.
And yeah. And I've been handed a Mother's Day sermon on the week that Roe versus Wade goes out the window. And there's no way I can't touch on this in that setting, because I'm not here to beat up my fellow believers, but the fact of the matter is that a lot of people have been, I think, misled about what's happening here. In an effort to do what they think of as a very good thing, they're helping to support a very bad thing. Mm-hmm. And that troubles me deeply. And I'm not making excuses for them at all. But wow, I just hope folks can remember that, there's somehow this might make this right idea that's gotten mixed up in the heads again and again and again of people of certain faiths throughout history. And this is another case of, hey, well, we've got the power, so let's use it. And the whole idea behind speaking from the perspective of Christianity, which is where I come from, is that you're supposed to lay aside power. That's not what it's about. You're not supposed to force people into situations, and you're supposed to think about their lives and where they're coming from, not where you're coming from. And that is so vastly antithetical to the spirit of what's taking place with these laws. So anyway, there's my sermon for the day. And we ought to be ashamed of ourselves, frankly. We really ought to be ashamed of ourselves in a lot of the Christian movement right now. So there's that. All right, I'll stop doing that now. Somebody else.
No, that's great. Jared, have you ever read the book Jesus and John Wayne?
I certainly have.
I just got it from the library, and I'm very excited to dive in.
What's it about?
I feel like
It's a good read. Tell me more.
I just have had it recommended to me by like a lot of people that I grew up going to church with, where we have a lot of these conversations of like being conflicted with what the church teaches and what I believe the gospel says and stuff like that. So it's talking about white evangelicalism and how like Jesus of the Gospels has kind of been co-opted into a political movement and stuff like that. So I'm excited to dive into it, and it seemed like a very good thing to pop up on my Libby this week of like, oh, this is good timing.
And not just a political movement, but what has become, by any objective measure, a fascist political movement. That's the worst. You want to get... There's a place for your faith in politics, but not in, hey, guess what? I'm in charge now. Fuck you, everybody. I'm going to change the world. Whether it's... that's not how it's supposed to work. That is the opposite of Christology. And, it kills me. But yeah, Jesus and John Wayne's a good read. I think you're going to cry a lot while you read it, but it's a good book.
Yeah. I know. It's one of those like, this is going to be hard, but I should read it. So I got to sandwich it with some lighter reads.
Yeah, my friend who's a teacher in the DC area advised me to read it earlier this year, so I did. Wow. It's a great read. Yikes. Okay, I'm going to cry.
I know.
Puff on the cigar again. I bet folks are here for, we can't ramble the whole time. It is just, it's tragic. It is one of the most pronounced removal of human rights in America that's taken place in my lifetime. Hardly the only one, but one of the most pronounced. We're just like, we do it again and again and again, and I'm just, I'm a white guy, so people mostly leave me alone. But as time has passed, I just feel like an idiot for not doing more sooner. I don't know what to do now. I'm learning as much as I can.
This is what we all do. Like we're all on our heels right now, and the only way to get through it is to fight, and is to stand up, and is to not be silenced by people telling you don't know what you're talking about, or it's not going to be that bad, or any other shit people say to shut you down. Like you gotta stand for something right now.
Yeah, some folks on Twitter were teaching me more, and I've been doing a lot of research since then about the possibility of working as an escort. I think I'm going to start doing that. Apparently, there's a real need for people simply to walk with you in and back in places where people going for abortions are made to feel unwelcome or threatened, to have other people be there for moral support, but also to a degree for physical support. And sure. I'm going to start doing that.
That's awesome.
That's one thing I can do. There's a provider literally 5 miles down the road from me. So there's got to be a way. I'm very lucky to be in a community that has one here in Raleigh, and I'm going to do what I can. So
it's all any of us can do.
That's
why, ladies and gentlemen, we're asking you to go to KindaFunny.com/charity. Right now, we are raising money for the Missouri Abortion Fund. Every 30 minutes, we are switching up and doing another state in need.
I want to give a shout out to a couple more donations that have come through. We have Mike coming through with $50, Maria coming through with $50, Ty coming through with $100, which puts our grand total at $2,231 for the afternoon. Evening. We have Allie coming in with another $25 right now too.
Is that my Allie or some other Allie?
This is a different Allie. This is Allison. Well, I don't actually know if your Allie is an Allison.
No, she's an Alexis.
Oh, an Alexis.
Okay. They're never. Allie's a great name. It fits so many different names. It's great that you can have an Allie here, an Allie there, all kinds of Allies.
Honestly, pick an identity. You know. I don't like guessing. I don't like guessing.
You don't like guesses? You don't like short names?
Nah. Well, I mean, most short names, you know what you're getting into. When Allie told us her name was Alexis, like, what the hell is this? You know, that was news.
But I mean,
that is one that I wouldn't expect.
You could be a Gregory or a Gregor, right? You could be two.
You've never met a Gregor. Don't lie.
I met a Gregor.
You're lying. I mean, Jared, this is a stream for charity. You can't lie on it. It's your return to KindaFunny content. You're coming in here lying that you're hanging out with.
No, I met a Gregor.
Chat, I'm sorry that you had to hear that. I'm sorry you had to hear the Reverend lie. I know how much you guys like him, but it sucks.
Y'all, you know, it's true that my heart is full of deceit in many occasions, but I have met a Gregor. I mean, you know, it's a big planet, man. There's a lot of Russian folks out there. A lot of folks in the Gregor part of the world. Okay,
whatever. Have it your way. It's like when I said when we were talking about Ghostbusters and somebody talked about Egon. I was like, yeah, no, I've never heard of anyone else named Egon. Our international audience was like, Greg, you're a moron. It's like a very popular name. I think in Germany it was. I'm like, oh, okay.
I didn't know that.
Something like that. Chat, let me know because I'm sure you're gonna tell me I'm a moron again. So there you go.
I guess I didn't know that either. But I've never.
It's like it's really not even when you search Egon on Google, like Egon Spengler is not even the first result. Like it's that popular.
This is. I feel like I'm learning so much today.
It definitely feels like one of those things somebody blinked into existence, you know, like it didn't really happen, but then Mandela effect, there it is. God, I hate these hands so much.
Joey, do you have any like weird facts like that to share? Can you teach us something today? I'd really like to learn something.
Tell me something. Teach me something about Kevin.
There's so man, you guys, the stream yesterday where they were playing Switch, whatever it's called, Switch Sports. Man, so in this house on this floor that I live on, before Kevin's new office used to be his brother Spencer's room. And I was always so surprised because, like, when Spencer was home, I could never hear him, never hear TV. Like, Spencer would play D&D, and I could never hear anything from Spencer's room because our rooms are like on the opposite sides of the house from each other. So it's always like, yeah, like I can never tell when Spencer's home or anything. But since Kevin's moved into that office, it's been bonkers. But especially yesterday when they're playing freaking volleyball and Kevin's jumping around the house and making the high-pitched Kevin squeals. I'm like, oh, okay. So it's not that the walls in the house are like particularly insulated.
It was just Spencer.
Spencer's just has like a normal human being voice that doesn't carry through, and Kevin sounds like he's just like cackling like a group of hyenas. And it's just like, not to mention that if I have the stream on, which I normally do, then I get to hear it in stereo. Sure. Like I don't think I can handle that many Kevins at once.
Nobody can handle that many Kevins.
Oh man, can you imagine a world with like multiplicity Kevins, like Michael Keaton repeating Kevins?
Yeah, no thank you. Even though it'd be fun to see how they change, because this Kevin, you know, he can be good or bad. So is the other Kevin going to be all good? Is it going to be all bad?
I'm a big fan of Kevin. I really like that guy.
Love Kevin.
He's all right by me. He's all right by me.
I do like Kevin. I don't always love working in the same vicinity as Kevin, but I do like Kevin.
What is it about? For folks that have never worked in the office, what is the horror of working beside Kevin? What are the untold terrors?
Where to start? Kevin everything that Kevin does is loud, which is sometimes fun, but if I'm trying to do something like particularly like analytic, where I'm looking at spreadsheets and numbers or trying to organize stuff, it's not really a great mix. And I'm interested to know how the new studio is going to go, because Kevin's not going to have his own little like mini office closet like he had at the last one. So I feel like we won't have a place necessarily to contain his presence.
Oh wait, Kevin has less space in the new studio?
No. He doesn't have a dedicated space. There's way more space in the studio, but he doesn't have like the Kevin room.
Yeah.
How did y'all not make him a room? Like, why would you do that? Why would you not make Kevin a room?
Why not introduce a little bit of anarchy into the world? You know?
Oh, God.
Let's see how Blessing can really hang, if this is really possible.
Poor Blessing. I'm just so glad he's going to get to go outside again soon.
Yeah, that'll be nice. That'll be nice for him.
I know.
What
was I going to say? We've got a few more donations rolling through. We have A-Rock coming through from Mississippi, his home state. I appreciate that. We have Patrick coming through from Missouri. And we have Nomad coming through from Missouri. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much, everybody, for your donations and for hanging out with us and trying to do a little bit of good, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You're the best we know right now. You're best.
We're at $2,400 for our stream today, guys.
That's great.
Excellent. That was good.
We're closing up on our last 10-ish minutes for Missouri. So get your Missouri dollars in, people.
I'll get another tweet out.
Oh man. Do we have a best friends map where we can strategically just call out Missourians, come hither?
Specific people that live in Missouri?
Yeah, is there a Missouri signal we can shoot up? Greg, you've got a lot of clout in Missouri.
I mean, I'm trying. I keep doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like at one point at the back in the day, we were trying to come up with a map thing to plot everybody, but I don't think that's current. And it's just kind of based on who I know in Missouri and all that kind of stuff.
That sounds like an enormous amount of work for very little reward in most situations. Yeah, that's probably an idea.
The kind of funny way. The kind of funny way.
Y'all do wonderful. I don't know what you're talking about. You do wonderful stuff. Oh God. I cannot wait to get into it. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, nothing major. Rebecca June was just saying that. Talking about the TikTok video that we put out today, and if you guys want to have any idea what working or being around Kevin is like, you should just watch that video because I'll give you a great idea.
Oh, is that Rebecca June Lane?
It is.
Oh, I like Rebecca June Lane. She's great.
I do too. I was really excited.
She always says
we got to do community Fortnite games a couple weeks ago, and Rebecca and I got partnered up, which is so fun because she's I feel like one of my long-standing internet friends that I've never actually met, so it was fun to get to hang out with her for a little bit.
Rebecca has been a source of encouragement for me on a couple occasions when I really needed it. Somebody that I don't know well except through the internet. Same thing. It's just went out of her way to be no, it's going to be okay. Or it's really nice and always really thoughtful opinions online. Tell you what, this terrible internet occasionally good for things.
Agreed.
I can't see Greg playing Rogue Legacy. How you doing, Greg?
I'm having a great time. I feel like I've done pretty well. Chat, what do you think? Obviously, I'm sure you're well, I'm better because you're the chat, but you know what I mean. John Drake was impressed. John Drake was impressed, he said.
Okay, yeah, John Drake DM'd me a picture of his daughter a second ago. It's oh, she's doing good. So, that was awesome. I should probably have the stream open and be watching it, shouldn't I? That would be a good idea.
You're fine, don't worry about it. You said you have great internet, so you don't want to spoil it. Tan Track says, "Hey Greg, what's your favorite class so far?" I still choose the Knight, but I do enjoy Valkyrie. I do enjoy Mage so far, and I am excited to open up Assassin, but I think I need to hit another level, maybe 2 levels.
And everybody always wants to be an assassin. Just any chance you get. Hey, what's that all about? Do we just secretly want to murder all those around us?
Don't you love being stealthy? You know what I mean? Games like this are so about being up in your face and fighting, right? But now you can sneak up from behind, giving me.
Well, no, look at me. What do I know about being stealthy?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I've never been stealthy in my life.
That's why I like it. It's a power fantasy for you and me, Jared.
Okay, is that it? All right. I tend to yell at stealth games the Mark of the Ninja. That's one that I love. God, I love Mark of the Ninja. Why isn't there another one of those? Can I have that?
Great question.
Can I please have that?
Jared.
Oh, that was a great video game. But yeah, stealth games I tend to get angry at. Like I always start Metal Gear stealthy, and then halfway through I'm just killing everything on my path with that assault rifle.
Sure.
But it is fun to sneak up there. I liked Hitman's whole Hitman 3's whole hide in plain sight thing. I did love that.
Yeah.
Because I didn't feel like I was being stealthy. I'm like, I'm just the master of disguise, and I'm gonna kill this guy with a chandelier and a flamingo. That's right. That was fun. But those power fantasies. What are you playing right now, Joey Noel?
Literally just Fortnite. Actually, that's a lie. That's a lie. I've been playing a lot of Lego Star Wars.
Hey.
Which
there you go.
I'm not like a giant Star Wars fan. I feel like I've learned that about myself in the last few years.
Would you play a small Watto game?
I mean, of course.
Thank you.
Like, of course. That is the one segment of Star Wars that I'm really dedicated to. But I've just been in the mood for a new Lego game for so long. So going through, getting all my extra bricks, finding all the mini kits. I love all that shit. So.
I feel like if there was gonna be a Watto game, it would have to be like the old Yoda's Desktop Adventures, like so lame like that, just something really terrible.
Well,
that's the only game
because it would never be lame. All right, you put Watto in a game, that's a guaranteed hit right there.
Hey, Watto is a big problem. I should just drop it. What, Watto?
Small Watto. That's the tagline we're going with. That's the ad campaign.
Watto is a big problem?
No, small Watto, big problem. It's a hashtag.
Small Watto, big problem. Okay, there's your... You got a future in marketing, Greg.
Thank you. I think I stole it from the chat, but that's what great marketers do.
All right, yeah, that's... Yes, that's what they do.
We all saw Mad Men. We know what's up.
Absolutely.
Sometimes the community dictates what we do. Like, once it gets a mind of its own, we just have to go with the flow, and they get to make all the big choices. So,
I mean, that's great, right? That's why you do this. It's why we're privileged to be here today. How's Missouri going?
Missouri's coming in. We have another donation from Maria. We have a donation from Daniel, which is putting us at $2,481.
All right, Missouri.
We're getting real close to 2,500. I feel like
come on, people, for Missouri, for Truman the Tiger,
for Missouri,
for the women of Missouri.
Yeah.
Don't forget, if you are able to donate, go ahead. Reply to the tweet we have for the stream.
I was like, where is this going? If you're able to donate, don't forget, donate.
No, it's just the problem if I'm reading too many things at once.
I know it very well, Joe. I'm just
my brain is the first thing to shut off.
It's late on a Friday.
I mean, just been grinding all day. You must be exhausted. Oh my goodness. I mean, I talked to you about something else this morning, Greg. I know that you just kind of been at it since 8 when we met, right?
Since then, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Y'all work so hard.
Right? You know?
I know, yeah, I'll rest when I'm dead.
You know, I've always heard that. Then I had a mental breakdown. I was like, I probably ought to rest
I'll
soon.
rest now. I'll rest now.
Yeah, I'll rest now. Never mind. Wait, this whole wait until I'm dead thing isn't going to work. Never mind. What are you doing for the weekend, Joey?
I'm trying to figure out if I can swing going home this weekend. We were trying to figure out if this weekend worked for Mother's Day, if I was going to do a different one. A lot of stuff going on. I'm very excited though because I do have to watch Top Gun. Because we have
new one?
Screener for I'm watching the first one because we have screeners for the new one next week, and I want to be prepped and ready.
Will there be a Top Gun in review then, or is that what's happening?
Oh yeah.
Yes. I don't know if we've ever officially announced that, but guess what, guys? If you're here,
I think Tim did.
Okay.
On one of the other interviews. And if not, there you go. You deserve it for being here for a charity stream.
Exactly. That won't be for a couple weeks. Since it's only 2 movies and we've got like Moon Knight and some other stuff some Jurassic World to get back to. But I'm not actually on that interview. I'm just doing the early screencast that we'll do for that.
So y'all know me. Y'all saw Multiverse, right? Am I gonna like it?
Oh, what? Do you like Sam Raimi?
Oh, I love Sam Raimi. You're gonna be great. All right, good.
I don't think
did you like it?
Superhero stuff like that you don't like lots of.
Oh, I love superhero stuff.
I know. I'm trying to make a point and not die with these swinging balls. Sorry.
Yeah, I think this one is. This is the first movie in a while where I feel like the style and substance kind of overtakes the style overtakes the substance a little bit, where you could like the story and end up not liking this movie because you don't like Sam Raimi.
Where do you fall on Sam Raimi?
I really like Sam Raimi. I'm excited because I saw Drag Me to Hell was trending earlier, which is one of my favorites.
That's a great one.
And it just kind of makes me want to watch that again.
Oh, I know what I'm doing.
Maybe I'll do that this weekend too.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too, actually, honestly, after Joey tweeted about it trending. I was like, maybe I'll watch Drag Me to Hell.
Yeah. Guess what, everybody? It's 4 o'clock. That means we're on to Wisconsin. So Wisconsin. Yeah. Is this the cheese curd state? Is that Wisconsin? Is that the big thing there?
I don't know if they're just the curds, but yeah, they do cheese everything, you know?
Cheese everything. 70% of Wisconsin women live in counties with no abortion clinic, and they have an unenforced pre-Roe ban, which will go back into effect. So ! Charity, KindaFunny.com/charity. We can help out. Oh yeah, some good cheese emotes in the chat. I love being able to say that.
Cheese emotions.
Yeah, there's a stinky cheese global Twitch emote. Who knew? Oh.
Joe, I'm gonna be this vampire.
Oh, vampire looks cool.
Yeah.
I like the red eyes.
Okay, I need 1065 to get the assassins unlocked when we come back.
Wasted Bandwidth says, weird fact, Wisconsin uses old cheese water to de-ice their roads because of the amount of salt in it.
Awesome.
That is a fun fact. That's not the fun fact that Jared asked me to provide, but I wish it was.
That's an excellent fun fact. Mm-hmm. That's delightful. Have you had any more luck besides Kevin facts? Like, have you had any other fun facts for today?
I don't think so.
Hey, what did I learn about recently? I'm trying to think if I learned any new fun facts. I was rereading Dark Phoenix Saga the other day, and I'd forgotten that there's a panel of that where Wolverine is reading Penthouse in a convenience store. Like that, I'd forgotten about that. They're like just sitting in the store reading porn. Like, and it's like, I mean, that's a bold move at a drugstore soda lunch counter. It's like they're there.
But he's Wolverine. What does he care?
Yeah, what does he care? Exactly. They're like literally like picking up like Kitty Pryde, like to like have her join the X-Men. He's like, I think I'll read some porn here in the store while I wait. Like, it just, oh man, I hope that makes it into the game. I really do. Oh my gosh, I'm neighbors with the guy writing that game. That's fun.
The old Walt Williams?
Yeah, Walt's neighbor. He lives over in Carolina now.
How's he doing?
He's doing real well. Saw him a couple weeks ago. We hung out. It was fun. Nice dude.
What are you playing?
Cool family. Oh no, I'm playing right now. I'm finishing up Kirby because I took that really slow, and I had a lot of fun with that. I think that was just high quality. I'm still grinding at Elden Ring. I will never finish it. I really like it, but I don't finish most games I like. It's very rare that I finish anything that I play. Switch Sports. That's the next one on the docket, and. I got into a mood and started playing Civ again. So nice. That's that. Yeah. I really love Civ. It's the Civ series are like top 10 for me, and so every now and then I just get in the mood and go back to that. And it's like, you know what? I'm just gonna conquer the world today. It'll be fun. I always go for cultural victories. I like winning through like tourism and creating utopias. So that's I'm a very non-violent Civ player. I try to avoid wars, which is a bad way to play Civ usually. So I'm not especially good at it. But
so when you play, are you playing like the new one, or like do you go to the classics? What do you
right now? I'm not back and forth between Civ 5 and 6. Okay. I play a lot of 5 still, and I don't know why. I think I just have a lot of love for it in my heart. 6 I think is a better game, but 5 I play more. I can't explain why.
Sure.
I should be able to if I were good at what I do, but I can't. I've been playing a couple of things for LRG, of course, for work. Which is exciting, and get to do neat stuff for that every now and then. So yeah, I've been bouncing around on a few different things. It's been, what a freaking delight Kirby is. I know that's hardly the topic du jour anymore, but gosh, what a fun little video game. We're just gonna make a fun 3D platformer, and just it's the great in these dark days. It has been good to just be like, you know what? I'm gonna look at something really pink that can eat any problem that stands in its way. And that has been a nice bit of escapism. That's sure. A big one. Yeah, so Kirby's Elden Ring and Kirby are weird ones to bounce back and forth between, but that's been okay. There's that. Oh, my laptop's telling me it needs to be plugged in. I'll be right back, y'all. I'm going to mute for a second.
See, Joe, I'm working harder, smarter, not harder.
Hottie Pippin, which is a great name.
Great.
Thank you so much for your donation to the Women's Medical Fund in, I don't know why I almost said Australia. I mean Wisconsin.
I mean, Wisconsin might as well be Australia.
Yeah, the Australia of the United States.
Wisconsin, the Australia of the Midwest.
It's true. It's true, everybody. You know it.
Australia, famous for beer, according to commercials. Wisconsin, famous for beer, according to reality. Mm-hmm. So that works.
There you go. No, well known.
Yeah. I want to see more of Wisconsin. I hear too many nice things about it, and I've never spent any real time there.
As a Illinoisian, I always appreciated when you drive through Wisconsin and you'd stop in a gas station to go to the bathroom or something. Inevitably written on the urinal or the stall or whatever would be, take your vacation in hell, not Wisconsin.
Wow.
It's like, I really best foot forward tourism right there.
I wish it were possible to like stream Dogma somewhere. I need to just go ahead and break down and buy it.
Yeah.
But I love the fact that the two angels are banished to Wisconsin for all of eternity.
Yeah.
That was the.
It's still such a trip to go back and watch that and then be like, how they, Bartleby drags Loki just to the airport to watch people, and they're like sitting at the gate. I'm like, oh man, remember that? Remember when you could do that?
We just sit at the gate and meet people, and they get off the plane. I was so happy.
Oh come on,
yeah. That was a lovely time. I really loved doing that in college. You go and friends would fly back into town. I went to college out of state, and so pick people up at the Orlando airport a lot because I went to college down there, and it was just kind of lovely. You sit there with your little sometimes 5-6 people. You all run up, hug the person when they get back, and it's right there at the gate. Just like $30. I miss that. I miss that a great. Well, that's an old man music. I'm like, I miss the drive-in theaters too, and also the soda counters, and But it was fun. It was very fun. Joey, you're a young'un. Do you remember that?
I'm not gonna lie. I've been doing other stuff and not been paying attention to what you guys.
Well, there we go.
These young kids today, they just don't listen to their elders like this anymore, Jared.
Yeah. Like,
there are a lot of lists going on right now. I'm just making sure that we got everybody's donations tracked.
Thank you, John.
That's probably more important that we raise money for the charity.
Remember, everybody, KindaFunny.com/charity. You can come donate right now to the Wisconsin Abortion Fund, as we try to help the states in need of possibly having their abortion rights and women's rights rolled back. Thanks to the Supreme Court. I'm dead. I shouldn't try to talk through that.
Jared, give me the TLDR of what you were talking about to see if I am a youngin or an oldin.
Oh, do you remember going to the gate at airports, just hanging around and waiting for people to get off their plane so you could greet them right as they got off and help them carry their stuff and all that? Like the joy of seeing your friends step off the plane, running up and hugging them.
I do not. I think I only took like one flight, maybe 2 flights, like pre everything changing. I'm trying to think of like if we did that when we were like when my dad would come home from business trips or anything, but I don't think we did.
It's like a lost joy. We were talking about Dogma and how that happened in that. It was this really nice little piece of life. It sounds like the most minor thing, but there was just this big area to sit around and wait for people, and you could just be there and be like, oh, they're about to, you could watch their plane pull up and get excited, and the door would open, you'd all run over and hug them and grab the luggage and help them take it to the plane, and it was just this like whole ritual that's kind of gone. And I understand why it's gone, but I just, the world comes and goes.
I'm not really a Star Trek girl.
So it's happy Star Trek. It's based on the original series. It's using a lot of the same characters. And it's bright as a nursery school and sharp and happy and optimistic. And it's all about just like, we're going to explore space and we're going to help people through their problems and we're going to do good stuff together in space. And it's hopeful and it's got a really good... It might not be a bad thing to check out right now. The first episode very directly and in an unexpected way, using Star Trek canon, pivots into what's happening literally right now. Some of what we're touching on with this live stream right now, the sudden societal changes tearing our country apart, are directly referenced several centuries later as a part of how it's possible to change things and choose a better course in history. And because Star Trek's whole thing is that on the planet Earth, we screwed up. And then after we had World War III, aliens showed up and were like, hey, y'all, we'd like to help you get your shit together. And they did. And we were like, oh, there's a better way to live. It's almost like a messianic thing. Like somebody literally comes down from the sky and kind of helps us learn to live better.
Yeah.
And they reference that in this in a really cool way. Even if you're not into Star Trek, the first episode of Strange New Worlds is really good. And it's just kind of a feel-good episode. So something to think about if you're not into it. You might like it. Get that Paramount
or whatever it is.
Paramount, yeah. Where all the other Star Trek stuff is now, yeah. That's a place to go. Chastity and I were talking about it recently, and we were both pretty excited about it. But I like it. I like it a lot. They're returning to kind of the episodic, let's explore space feel for this series, and the closest thing they've had to TNG or the original series since those were on TV.
Nice.
So it's just yeah, kind of classic Twilight Zone style science fiction. Let's go to a planet. Let's find a problem. Let's make some social commentary. Let's do some fun stuff. And then in 48 minutes we get back in the ship and fly on to the next planet. I like it. You might like it, or you might feel like stupid.
I know. Star Trek is another one of those fandoms where I feel like I have no real frame of reference for any of it. Similar to Doctor Who, where I'm like, it seems a little intimidating to jump into because there's a billion things. But I always hear people talk about Lower Decks too.
Oh, Lower Decks is fun. The first season of Lower Decks isn't as good. That's it gets real good, but that's one of those ones that's hard to get through that first hump. And I would advise you to just jump into this this is so palatable. Oh look, it's Spock. I've heard of him. Oh, this guy's not Kirk, but he sure looks a lot like Kirk, and he dresses like him, and he's smarter than Kirk, so I like him too. And oh, there's Uhura. Okay, I know her. You don't have to. There's not a lot of onboarding for this. All you have to know is what happened at the end of Discovery's second season, and that you can look up in a wiki in 2 minutes and know how the show goes. So everything else is just great. You don't even really need that. You just have to know that Captain Pike knows how he's going to die, which is established in the first 5 minutes of the show. It's not a spoiler. So, yeah, I can't recommend it enough as a good place to hop into Trek. Even if you're not wanting to make Trek a thing, you don't have to know anything about Star Trek to enjoy this.
I really liked Discovery, and I wasn't a Trek person. I only did season 1.5. I never made it all the way to the end.
You had to make it to the end? Okay, the second season has a very significant event that leads to Captain Pike finding out how he's going to die.
Okay.
And so he knows the exact moment of his death, but he's still exploring space anyway. So he has a choice, even though he knows it'll eventually lead to him dying. Yeah. And and that's no spoiler. Again, that's all very covered in the first. Plus, if you've ever watched Star Trek of any kind, it's literally in the first season of the original Star Trek that this happens.
Yeah,
so,
that's the whole bit about when they brought him and Rebecca Romijn on, right? As it was the tie back to the original series.
Tie back. So the first episode of Star Trek of all time is a different captain than Kirk. It was a pilot, and they didn't like it very much, so they replaced him. But they worked the pilot into the canon in later episodes using clips from it to talk about this guy, Captain Pike, that was like horribly injured. And so they swung that around and turned that into the series. It works really well. So that's me babbling about Star Trek, but I think it's, I don't know if it's going to stay good, but the first episode was quite good. And much lighter than Discovery. Like, it really feels feels hopeful. So does Discovery at points.
I was going to say,
this
Discovery has hope at times.
Yeah, this one is kind of like that in microcosm. Yeah, Discovery gets super hopeful eventually. Like, there's a lot of optimism in Discovery. So,
I want to shout out to Michael and Mitchell and Davis and Trevor, who have all come through with donations. We are at $2,616 for this stream.
Come on, ladies and gentlemen. We got a little under an hour ago. Let's push it. So you said to 3,000? That's what you said it was at.
Yeah, that'll be the next thing. The next big one.
Remember, you can go to kindafunny.com/charity. Help us raise money for these abortion funds.
Yeah. And I don't want to speak out of turn, but something else for us to think about. It is very important to remember that abortion is a women's issue, but also it's from a place of allyship. Remember, it's an issue for any person who can get pregnant. And there's Americans that are already dealing with so much crap in the LGBTQ community that are just having it piled on here with this too. That's another group of people being directly affected by access to abortion rights that geez, just come on, folks. Leave people alone and let them live. But now I'm just ranting again. Sorry. Down.
I feel like we all have those moments where it's like everything keeps spiraling, and sometimes you just got to get it out and remind people about how many different people groups are being affected.
Yeah, it's an odd thing to think. It's odd to live. It's not the end of the world. The planet Earth will go on, but it's the end of the world as we know it. Something very radical is changing in our lifetimes in pretty nasty ways. Some of these are just old things that we're becoming more aware of. Some of them are old things that are resurfacing, but I really hate watching the rise of Confederacy Part 2, America. That's not something I want to see take place in this country, and I'm afraid that's kind of at the roots of originalism and what we're seeing here. This it's weird. I'm a big government liberal. I'm a socialist, but this is overreach in my mind. Like, there's a place where we all say you don't need to go. Well, folks, this is it. Holy crap.
Yeah.
The idea is not to take rights away from people. Liberty's not about. Oh.
If only, apparently, it seems like an easy thing, but apparently not.
Yeah, there are more of us than there are of them, and it doesn't seem to matter.
Yeah, that's what's so exciting about it, right?
And that's just what kills me sometimes is we've always been through our lives aware of the relatively undemocratic aspects of our quote-unquote democratic republic, but man, turns out if you're just willing to press any button and don't care what's ethical, you can do about anything. And whew, jeez. So how about them video games?
Hey man, that's the line we walk here every day.
Yeah, exactly. That is. I just don't want to turn this into my personal cathartic.
I know. That's what we're all here for. Like we said at the top, like if you're joining us late, like that's one of the main reasons I'm so happy that Joey did this was the fact of like how mad I was Monday and how much it ruined my Tuesday and how I just wanted to take that anger and do something with it. So here
I'm still blinded by anger. I've fallen into I get depressed. Boy, this just I've been in a hole all week. This shouldn't be about me. I don't want to make something that's affecting 350 million Americans just about me. But from my own tiny little corner, this has just wrecked me. I knew it was coming, but that
doesn't make it easier.
doesn't make it any. Yeah, it doesn't.
Being right doesn't matter, right? All these when these Supreme Court justices, when you had Kavanaugh and everybody else getting interviewed, and you're like, this is clearly not. He's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
It was like, well, now it's, guess what? Yeah, he's a piece of shit who went back on his word. I don't feel right because we were able to go, hey, look, we got him. We called it. Like, that doesn't make it.
I would have gladly eat crow and would have liked to be wrong about it rather than.
It would be beautiful to be wrong right now, but I mean, any judge that accepted that nomination was going to be unethical. I mean, anybody after this is okay. Yeah, you know what? I don't hear this talked about enough, and I'm going to rant about it for a second. If you were somebody that held justice, what's right, what's good, what in your heart, as somebody who a servant of the high and mighty principle of the legal system at its best. And you saw the political circus played with Merrick Garland during the Obama administration. I don't think any ethical judge could have accepted in those circumstances. No matter who you were, it was an act of opportunism. Any judge worth their weight in justice from any party would have stood up and said, look, you need to nominate a judge President Obama would have nominated because I'm not going to serve.
Yeah.
And you could have kept nominating them. They could have stood up in front of America and said, no, I will not do this because it's unjust. We know that the will of the people was betrayed in this. And none of these three jokers did it. And in my mind, that makes them all hypocritical pieces of shit. Political animals there to help other powerful people grasp more power, exploit the fears of a theocratic class of people that can't get their heads out of their butts long enough to think about the fact that maybe there's more nuance to this situation than, oh my goodness, dead babies. That's what they see. And that's not what this is about. This is not about stopping that. This is about seizing power. And that is not hard to see if you're willing to pretend that you can see through the eyes of somebody else for it. I mean, I was a teenager. I stood on the highway, the stupid anti-abortion sign, and thought I was doing good. I really did. And then, I can literally think back. It's like I'm standing on the highway with my, hey, choose life sign with other people from my church. And then, not a lot long later, I'm in the back seat with some gal and, dark and sweaty and going, oh, wait, wow, I'm a hypocrite.
Yeah.
I just sat there thinking about, oh my God, sex and life and birth, conception and raising a child and the rights of a human being over their own body are far more substantial and complex topics than we're giving them credit for in this elementary school approach that's really just built to keep Republican politicians in power. Mm-hmm. And when I saw that, my opinions changed as a kid. And I hope that somebody eventually, that folks will keep having that happen. Not because I have all the answers, but I know this one. It's too self-evident. This is built on corruption. You don't do something because you can. You do something because it's good. And the way this is being done is not good. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's the opposite. Oh, okay, there's the... Yeah. All right. I'm going to stop talking.
No, it's all good.
Thank you.
Yeah. And, to be honest, I've also been, really disappointed in a lot of the statements that Biden's put out.
Oh, my God.
There was a big push before he got elected. I'm going to codify Roe. And now it's being well, you guys just have to elect the right people.
Exactly.
It's
we got to play it out. Just got to play it. Get fucked. What are you talking about?
That's not the answer we're looking for. Also, this is midterm season. Maybe we try and actually do something while we can.
And that's the problem. Every joke you've seen about the Republicans versus the Democrats is completely true. Just like the Simpsons one of whatever, Republicans we're gonna pick what's worse for everybody. We're undeniably evil, and then the Democrats being just, we don't know how to govern. Exactly. Yeah, do something, fucking Democrats.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's this. I mean, think about the mess of Obamacare. We had We had the House, the Senate, we had a supermajority, and we hung around too long and let somebody die and couldn't get the thing we wanted passed in the first place because we took a year to pass a law that we've been trying to pass for 40 years.
Yep.
We will always do the stupidest thing possible. My dad fought in Vietnam, and my dad's a lifelong Democrat, but he used to joke that the difference, when he was in Vietnam between Republicans and Democrats was that Democrats felt bad about it after they bombed Hanoi, and Republicans didn't, and that was the only difference. They all still bombed Hanoi and killed a bunch of people, and it's not that nothing matters. That's the part that the reason I can't embrace libertarianism, which pretends to be above all of this, is that it's just like, well, I'm kind of above the problems of my society. I'll live on my own, and I won't pretend that rights. This is the thing. Freedom is not something we have of our own. Freedom is a gift we give each other. You cannot have freedom in a society where one does not give freedom to the other. Freedom is a social contract. It is a construct. It is a inherently social, as in socialistic, thing. So you can't just walk away and say, I'm above both parties. You've got to go someplace. Yeah. But God heaven are the Democrats inept, and they infuriate me. Oh, Joe Biden, what the fuck is wrong with you? Oh, man.
Yeah, that's just the roughest part about it, is you want to be like, well, both parties suck, and I'm going to turn my back on it. It's like, well, you can't. Because, again, the Republican Party's being really good about giving their audience the horrible shit they want. And so it's like, well, you got to fight. You got to be this. But you can also sit here and be like, pull your head out of your fucking ass, Biden. What are you doing? Like, how is this happening? Yeah, how are you not all enraged, standing up, telling us what to do? Like, it should be so easy for a Democrat to be like, just grab the wheel and be like, all right, cool, this is what it's all about. I'm the guy who's gonna fucking turn this around and do it.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of cowardice and detachment for a lot of folks. Like, I really do. I think some of it is that a lot of the people that rule us, including in the Democratic Party, live outside of the pain and problems that affect 95% of Americans. And then the other part of it is it's just so much easier to tell yourself, I can stay in power and do some good if I don't take, But this isn't the time for that, man. It's too far gone to just ride the wave. It's ineptitude versus fascism at this point. I'll take ineptitude, I guess. Yeah. And I keep using that word fascism, but I really do mean it. Fascism, people talk about being hyperbolic, but fascism is the idea that might makes right, and that is the core ruling principle of American conservatism right now. There's no question about that. They're open about it. Not every American conservative is advocating for fascism, but most of them are. And that's the reality of it right now. So I cannot subscribe to this. I really do love the idea of democracy. It's such a neat idea. Such a cool
in theory.
Well, it's worked out every now and then. Good stuff does occasionally. God. It certainly beats. I don't know. Either y'all watch The Great?
No.
At all on Hulu?
I have not.
Okay, so it's Elle Fanning and what's the guy's name that plays Beast in the new X-Men films?
Nick Holt.
Yeah, Nick Holt. It's Nick Holt, who's a fucking delight on this show. But it's about Catherine the Great and the coup to seize power. It's a comedy about Catherine the Great, and it cares nothing about real history except every now and then when it does, and it is hilarious and funny. Nicholas Hoult is a positive monster. He's a king, and kings generally are monsters. Absolute rulers are terrible because they don't have any accountability. And rulers without accountability are the worst thing in the world, and that's what we got right now. Mm-hmm. I swear Trump could nuke San Francisco and people would cheer at this point.
For sure.
I know that sounds hyperbolic, but I'm not entirely sure that I am being hyperbolic, but only barely. Ugh. All right.
Okay, everyone, we are in our last half hour of this.
Finish strong.
We are moving into Indiana, so we are moving over to the Hoosier Abortion Fund. We've updated all of our links for everything. So if we could finish strong, that would be great. We're sitting at $2,616. I feel like if any of this is resonating with you, even a couple bucks chipped in, I know that all of these organizations would really appreciate. Abortions really expensive, which I didn't realize. They were like between like $500 and $1,000, which is a lot of money to pull together for a lot of people. And I feel like they all would appreciate even a couple bucks if you have to give.
Something to remind everybody about is that, we can draw, everybody's very eager to draw quick judgments about abortion. We have people advocating for treating people that get abortions as murderers. Just, look around at your friends and remember that, about 1 in 4 of them have had one. It's people have a lot of human beings have abortions in their lives. And guess what? They're not terrible, you assholes. So get over yourselves. All right. Wow.
Yeah.
Somebody say something pleasant, so I'll just stop doing this.
No, this is the whole point. And I mean, again, instead of, we had Andrea on earlier, right, who talked a little bit about all the stuff she went through with her pregnancies and, how hard it was to conceive and keep a viable pregnancy. And, keep in mind, some of the things that saved Andrea's life would be outlawed in certain states by the laws that are trying to be passed. This whole thing is completely fucked and being completely turned away from the fact that this is a healthcare right. This is a woman's right to choose, but it's also a right to govern your own body. I saw somebody yesterday talk about that. If this was about a man surrendering control of their body and having no say with what happened, it would never happen. It's the same thing of look at every other fucking whiny little bitch man who was like, no, I'm not going to wear a mask. It's my right. That's the fucking hill you're going to die on. But here it is, forcing a pregnancy on somebody and then having the gall to have your response be when I tweet about this shit, the gall that your response is, well, if they weren't ready for a baby, maybe they shouldn't have sex. What fucking year is it? What year is it? What fucking 3rd grade Catholicism class am I in right now? That's how you break this entire thing down. Well, they shouldn't have had sex. What the fuck are we talking about?
Yeah, that one just hurts me to the core. That's just, if there's a more entitled approach to this, I can't think of one. If there's a less empathetic, maybe I should think about what it's like to be somebody else for a second. Am I capable of that?
Yeah.
95% of the world's problems, I think, could be solved if we were all just capable of even trying. I will never know what it's like to be a person capable of having a child. I cannot pretend to empathize with that. You know what? I can sit here and go, if I were, I think I'd like to have control over my own body. That sounds good. And the idea that we're separating... Oh my gosh. Let's talk about the mask continuum for a second. So, masks are a public safety device primarily existing to protect other people you're interacting with from a contagious plague that killed 1 million Americans in the course of a couple of years. Abortion is a function that a person can choose, if they wish to have performed on their own body a medical procedure on themselves. And a fetus is part of a woman's body. And I swear to God, people just don't get that. Don't think about that. A fetus is a part of a pregnant person's body. And it is them. It is inseparable in the mind to just be like, you know what? Well, that's to treat people like there's some kind of incubation tank walking around. But what the hell? It's not what people are.
And to pair it with, of course, no help for your healthcare. It's not like we're talking about this is okay. Yeah, we're forcing you to take care of this, to have this baby, and we're covering all the healthcare. Of course not. That wouldn't be the American way. Instead, it is, of course, no. There's no, you have to have, don't you have a job that you need to keep working through to get healthcare? Don't you have this to get through this, to do that? It's fucking heinous and draconian and horrible the way we're trying to treat people about this. One of my favorite was, and I'm not even trying to swing on the person, but before, not right now in this abortion debate, but at some point abortion had come up months ago. Maybe, and I think it was when Jen was pregnant. I don't even, but it might have been after Benjamin arrived. And I had made some comment about being pro-abortion, and pro-choice, pro a woman's right to choose. And somebody was like, man, I really thought that after you had a kid, you'd change your mind. And after seeing my wife, who has, of course, this sounds like I'm knocking my wife or not, but every advantage possible, every privilege possible. We have healthcare. We have a place to live. We have friends. We have family. Like we're, in the grand scheme of things, what I think we ended up spending a little over $10,000 for Benjamin, right? And that's with great healthcare insurance or whatever. But like I'm saying, with everything being that. Watching Jen her body change, her hormones change, the toll it took on her, having to put work on hold, having to change things, which again, we signed up for, we wanted, we did all this, but still, you don't know what it's like. You get your ticket punched and then you start going through a pregnancy, and then the appointments and the worry and the concern and monitoring what you're eating, and then her getting gestational diabetes and having to test, and like, you go through all this stuff and you think about like, that's something she did by choice. If we were talking about like, you get pregnant and you have to do that, and you're 16, you get pregnant, you get raped, and you have to keep this baby and go through all of that for something you had like, come the fuck on, guys. What are we talking about? How can anyone sit here with a straight face and be like, no, this is the way it should be? Like, it's outrageous the way people talk about this, that this is about unborn babies and not the fact that it's about a woman, about a human being, a person right there. And it was the same thing too of like, when we were getting, I think, in a very weird way, like movies and everything else do this whole thing of like talking about when you're getting to a point in a medical procedure and it becomes about saving the baby rather than the mother, right? And like that, this is getting off target to a different thing, but it's like movies ingrain this in you that the child is the most important thing. When it was this conversation me and Jen were having, right? Because of course, if something was to happen to her, I have to be the one who's making these calls and doing this thing. And it was like, well, no, we're going to try to save Jen. We're going to try to save the person who's got 30 some years of her life here. And like, granted, I'm not trying to force my belief of this in this very specific instance on you, but it's like to extrapolate that back to this collection of cells in a uterus at what, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, whatever you want to, is where we go up on this. Like, what are we fucking talking about? How are we still having this conversation some 50 some years later? Oh, my math's better than that. 60 years later, 50 years later, 74, right, Joey? 73?
I'm not good at math.
Thanks, Joey. Thought it would help. But how are we still having this? And like, this is the thing. And like, I got it. Growing up and like, especially being fucking raised Catholic and going to a Catholic school and having like pro-life pushed on us there and stuff like that. And honestly, really only in mass classes, I don't remember being that bad. Masses were very bad about it. But feeling like when I left that it was such an ancient thing. That like, of course, we are a society now connected by this wonderful internet that gives us every piece of information and everything. Of course, we're getting smarter as we go and doing all these different things, and people can see this and they can check that at the door. And like, to see all these major backslides, the fact that this is what we're worried about and not the fact we are killing the planet. The fucking planet is dying and fighting back against us. But instead, well, this is the biggest thing we need to fight right now. The fact that you can see beyond a shadow of a doubt how crooked politicians are and how fucked the system is, but this is what will go back. It's just, there's so much to be angry about, and that's why it's so fucking maddening to be this angry all the time.
Yeah, and this is those crooked politicians, those same crooked politicians holding on to power. That's what this is about. This is not, I'm not undercutting the motivations of people with pro-life perspectives that I think aren't necessarily thinking it all through. I understand to a degree where a person who opposes having an abortion comes from. That
sure.
But the fact nobody is being forced to have an abortion right now. Nobody right now is just being, it's people act like right now the government is pushing all Americans into abortions or something. But people have franchise over their own bodies. That's it. That's the law right now, is that people get to make their own decisions. That's the law. That's the default setting. And we're changing that from you get to choose what you do with yourself to you will have no choice in what happens to you. Rape victim, incest victim, person that's gotten pregnant, for any situation. any mother, any person capable of carrying a child, you don't get a choice anymore. That is a massive, massive stripping of liberties.
I will say, I just don't love the focus on like rape and incest and all of that stuff, because that does require, like, it does result in like a woman only has autonomy over her body if it's first violated. But like, yeah, you guys are totally right. It's 100% about choice, and like, I just don't buy that anybody that's pushing for these bans is actually pro-life, because they're not pushing for free birth control or sex education or support for these mothers, these single mothers that they want to have these children's, and social systems and like any of this stuff. And if they were pushing for that stuff, then I would be like, oh, they are pro.
I still don't agree with you, but at least I see you walking the walk of what you're trying to talk about right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm right there.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, Joey. Yeah, I appreciate that. I feel like a fool ranting about this. I mean, that's the other part is, look, what fucking say should I have in... I am never going to be pregnant. What fucking say should I have in what anybody who is gets to do with themselves? So I feel like an idiot even talking about this sometimes, because I just know that taking people's rights to themselves away is very, very bad.
Yeah.
And the reasons we're doing it are even worse. The fact that we're doing it is awful, and the reasons we're choosing for it, just it's a cycle of corruption. It's all about power over people that are already marginalized in our society, that have already had a history of being stomped on. I just, oh God, it's so depressing.
Yeah, it's
That's why we're doing what we can, ladies and gentlemen. I ask you to do the same. Remember, we have 15 minutes left here on this stream. You can go to kindafunny.com/charity, donate. What we're Indiana right now. We're helping Indiana.
Yeah, we're in Indiana. We're at $2,716, a little bit under $300 that we have left to go, to a $3,000 fundraising for the day, which is pretty good.
Yeah, hell yeah.
If you've donated and you haven't sent in your receipts to us so we can thank you on stream, please let us know. You can either send me the receipt on Twitter or reply to the Kinda Funny thread that we have that I just put in chat. Who else do we have? We have Anthony and Ben that have sent in donations while we were all talking. So we're getting there. And yeah, it's just frustrating and exhausting, but I like talking with you guys, and it's nice to have that. Oh.
Is there a phone ringing?
Yeah, I'm doing something.
You hear that? An infamous Greg Miller stream phone call.
The Google Fi.
Ooh. I was like, I was hoping that it wasn't just gonna be
Andy. It's Greg from work. I just saw I'm on stream right now playing Rogue Legacy 2. I just saw your Xbox turned on, and I just want to remind you there's still 15 minutes left in your work week. So if you could make art or like a T-shirt design, that'd be great. Like, I just don't think this is the time you should be signing on your Xbox and dodging my calls to play video games. So if you could do that, that'd be great. Thank you.
Joey, I really do appreciate that you reminded us of in regard to the emphasis you're too much on rape and incest. That this is an issue about human rights and medical rights in general. And thank you for reminding us that is very often that is so far down the rabbit hole in this. So thank you so much.
Yeah, Joey, you put up one of the things on Instagram that was like, maybe I forget who it was, but something like it's about abortions for everyone, full stop. Like, this isn't about getting in here and nickeling, diming, and making excuses and making things. No, it's about like letting this healthcare procedure be available to the women who need it.
Yeah, and like honestly, like so much of this, even for me, in like the last what year is it? 2022. Probably in the last like 7 to 8 years of like learning and having these conversations with people and figuring out what terminology and language and stuff to use. Like it's definitely a learning process for all of this. But it's a lot. There's a lot going on.
Sorry if I sounded like a moron.
Oh no, not at all. And like, yeah, I feel like especially for me that was like a talking point that I used a lot, and I think especially coming from like a church background, that's one that's like kind of pushed more, and just learning.
Yeah, it did get pushed a lot. I remember that a great deal. It's like, oh god.
Yeah, and like, yeah, it's the statistics of like people that have abortions and stuff like that. It's like so many people you don't know and don't realize, and people that are seeing these especially like within church circles and stuff like that. Like, I think a lot about it specifically of like, man, there's a lot of people posturing and being really excited about all of these changes. It's like, you just don't know that all the stuff you're saying is being read by people that have had radically different life experiences from you and are not feeling safe by to talk to you about any of these things based on the way that you're celebrating these things.
Yeah, you're acting right now. Why would anybody ever open up to you about this?
Totally.
I'm also thinking about the number of American people who will die after this because they will still need abortion services, and it will be much more difficult for those to be provided safely.
This only outlaws legal abortion, right? Like that. Yeah,
exactly.
Abortion's still going to happen. You're not going to stop abortion, and you're just going to see those rates climb back up.
And that's one of the things I think that people from this generation may have forgotten. I wasn't around for this, but you do the research. It's not hard. The number of people who died from botched abortions before Roe was staggering. And we're about to see another wave of that. People that are just going to die, that don't have to. And that also troubles me deeply, and is another reason I'm frustrated by the deep politicalization of this issue. So there's that.
So there's that to add to the pile.
Yeah. Oh man. How's Rogue Legacy going, Greg? I can't see it.
Good. This is my second time. I went right to the boss area challenge again just to see how I felt with this assassin. I got whooped on, but you know I'm enjoying myself. I'm having a good time. What a game, you know. It'd be great on a Steam Deck, but you know, Paris Lily stole them all, and I got to deal with that now.
I mean, I do think surely, Greg, you recognize the karmic, like, inevitability of you not getting a Steam Deck.
That's the biggest insult. Name one person in the last 15 years who done more for PC gaming than me, Jared. All the PC people know it was in good fun. All the jokes. It kept PC gaming in the news. Greg Miller making a good laugh about you. The beta test.
About the PC gaming. So you don't think it was anybody from, like, you know, Intel or Nvidia or AMD?
Those people love me. I use the Radeon and the cards, and I got the Nvidia DLS, the super screen. It's all there.
Bet in your heart you're a secret Mac gamer.
I would if I could.
God, that was a weird world. Man, those poor Mac gamers, they got so screwed. They had a pretty good gaming system. They had Bungie. Bungie was theirs. Yeah. They had Marathon, and they had Myth, and they had Bungie. And then Microsoft came along and bought their company and stole their Halo. That was going to be a Mac game. Those poor people. And then Steve Jobs came along and was like, you know what? We don't need video games on this platform. And then they were sad. They lived a hard time, those Mac gamers. I feel bad for them. Oh, that's harsh. They didn't deserve the pain they had. They just wanted to use them one button mouse. They were flawed, but they weren't evil.
They didn't know.
Yeah, they didn't know. They're like, you know. Oh my gosh. Oh wait, what do we got here?
Yes, dude.
Oh hell.
Snowbike Mike!
I had to take a moment and of course give a big thank you to Joey and Greg for continuing to rally and put on this awesome charity stream. But I mean, come on. I gotta say dokie dokie to my guy, Jared Petty. Jared, tomorrow's my birthday, and I want you to know how much of an influence you've been on my life, and I wouldn't want to miss the opportunity to say thank you for being incredible, dude.
Well, knowing it's your birthday, I got to take the opportunity to say happy birthday to you.
Thanks,
happy birthday to you. Happy birthday dear Snowbike.
You're the
Happy
best,
birthday.
Jared. Thanks, Guy.
Dude, it's so good. I love seeing you succeed. I love what you bring to the channel, of the energy you bring to the streams, of the energy you bring to the streaming game. It is fan-fucking-tastic. You're the real deal. These folks are lucky to have you. It's spectacular watching your meteoric ascent into the stratosphere.
I'm trying every single day, Jared. Every day I'm trying to get better and be better.
I think you're pulling it off.
Thanks, homie. I wanted to check in really quick with you since I saw your name, and I know Greg and Joey are bringing it. Wanted to make sure you're doing well. How's everything?
I've been a big grump most of this thing. I've kind of used this as my therapy session for the week. So these poor folks have been, I think, fairly traumatized by my grumpiness. But other than that, it's been great. Hey, seeing Andrea earlier was delightful. I've talked with her in ages. I've talked with Joey since PAX, and we didn't get to talk very long then. I haven't seen Greg in a while. And now you popping in here. This is like this is all the reunion I could hope for. I'm just ready to hop on a plane to San Francisco and contract a terrible disease on my way. So I can go see my friends.
Oh, I wish the world wasn't like that, because I'd love to have you out here right away. You know that.
Oh,
well, that's
man.
good, Jared. Yeah. That's great. How was the big opening of the store? It looked rad.
Oh, thank you for asking. It was spectacular. It really had that feel. Look, I work for the company, so I'm going to be, biased. I can't be objective about this, but it really did have that old, midnight launch feel. Like, hey, a console's about to come out, and hundreds of people are going to get in line. We're all going to hang out. And it is, without a doubt, the coolest video game store I've ever been.
I love it. That's so cool.
They really nailed the vibe. The place is just great. It's got a spectacular used games section with some really amazing stuff in it. Some crazy things came through there. We saw a Game Boy sewing machine at one point. It was incredible what came through. And LRG makes good games, good stuff there. Lots of great books, lots of great vinyl sold. They had a claw machine running there. I got to meet tons of KindaFunny best friends in line.
Oh, nice.
The best friends came out in force that day. It was great. A bunch of folks from Way Forward were there. The Shantae folks, the River City Girls folks, and just the My Life Gaming guys were there. And it was just spectacular. It was a good day. I had a lot. It was one of those days. It was a lot of fun to be at work.
That's awesome, Jared. That sounds so great. I'm so glad and happy for all of you. I'll leave you with this before I go. You talk about the used game selection, and I love going down to my local mom and grop shop, right? What's the one thing you want off those shelves? Is there one game that you would grab or one item?
I don't know if it's out yet, but there's a Chrono Trigger that was signed by most of the creators that I think is a sealed Chrono Trigger signed by most of the people that worked on the game that's going to go out at some point, I think. And for me, that's an object of I don't go big on signatures, but getting Chrono Trigger, that game was to get the whole, get the band together game. And the fact that so many of the people involved in it signed it is pretty rad. And also, again, I'm going to go back to this, that Game Boy sewing machine. How could you not want it?
So it's a Game Boy they turned into a sewing machine?
Oh, it's a sewing machine add-on for the Game Boy. This was a real thing.
Gotcha. Did not know that. Did not know that existed.
Yeah. Yeah, there was one for the Famicom, too, that taught you how to knit a sweater. Mario, so taught you how to knit a sweater with Mario on it.
That's badass. But, Jared, thank you for sharing your hype and energy. I miss you, dude, all the time. Greg, thanks for letting me interrupt. I'm sorry about that.
Mike, how
thanks
was
for being a great influence. Oh, my God. Well, now I can tell you, everybody, we had Joseph Staten on to talk all things Halo Infinite, and it was really special. Greg, we only got 20 minutes with him about, it was a 30-minute window, but, us with 5 minutes of greeting and stuff. So I got about 20 minutes, and it was really something special. There's actually some parts, if best friends are interested in Halo, you're going to want to listen to it. But that was, like Jared just said, right? That was a special geek out moment for me to have him on there and think about the lineage of Halo. I wish I had more time to, talk more, but for my 20, 25 minutes, I was super happy.
How many times did Dumb Pears bring up his Steam Deck?
Oh, we have a whole post show dedicated to you in the Steam Deck. Well, y'all have a great Friday. Greg, Joey, thank you for being positive influences on my life. I love you both.
We love you.
Best friends, enjoy it, and I will see you all on Monday for a big KFW spectacular. Peace, everyone.
The debut of the Reverend Jared Petty.
Thanks, y'all.
Oh, yeah, I'll be there.
Coming up, Johnny Ace's title.
We're in our last 5 minutes. We have donations from Daniel, Ryan, Joey, A-Rock, Skylar. We are at $2,941.
Come on, y'all. $60. Let's get it to 3K.
$60. We have 3 minutes. I believe in us. I think we can do it.
I believe it's. I'm sorry. The apparently the severe thunderstorm warning alarm just went off in the middle of that, so that's what you were hearing off in the distance. That loud horn. Sorry about that.
I didn't even hear it. You're fine. Oh, come on.
Oh,
the
good.
fire
Okay,
was
good.
going. These damn freaking hands.
Do you also have a hard time with fire stuff like Kevin?
No. I was burning the fire hands, and they still
okay.
got me.
Oh man. All right, 3 minutes. We can do this. We can get it.
Oh, I got 3 minutes to say it. Wow.
3 minutes. We can do it. I could do a very non-dramatic countdown from 180. That would be very boring for everyone involved.
You still know how to make the content, Jared.
Exactly. Oh, I'm so good at the content, y'all. I mean, come on. There's a reason debating about one episode before I was gone.
You get your what?
I unlocked this guy. He's a boxer.
Oh.
I'm gonna go punch some guy.
There you go.
He's got like his arm's real long.
Yeah. Well, I think there's
real
he's
far
got like
away.
stuff coming like power pushes.
Oh, okay. Got it. It's one of those superhero arms.
Exactly, super arms. That's what they call them.
All right, let's see what we got here. Going through my Twitter looking for somebody maybe popping in. No, mostly just trolls. All right.
Oh yeah, I've been muting people left and right today on my account and the KindaFunny account. Get out of here.
You're gonna be a troll. Don't have a Donkey Kong 64 icon as your avatar. At least have some fucking dignity. Jeez.
I want to shout out to 4D Viz coming in with a $100 donation to push us over.
Yay!
And put us at $3,041 for the stream today.
Thank you.
Thank you, 4D Viz.
Joey, I'm so glad you did this. Like, this is just... you're
Thanks, Joe, for setting this up.
such a quality human.
I am so happy to work with people who are also passionate about the things that I'm passionate about and are down to raise money for people who need it, you know? I imagine this won't be the last time we do this. I'd love to get through the rest of this list at some point later this month. So, Mario coming in with $20. Thank you, Mario. So I feel like we'll be back on this. We got a lot more states we want to help, and you guys, the community, everybody that's watching is always so supportive. And we appreciate you guys hanging out with us. I love hanging out with the community on Fridays, especially through such like a wild amount of games that we've played today. Fortnite, Mario Party, all the Jackbox games, that one that Blessing gave a 9 out of 10 for mediocrity to. So thanks everybody for hanging out with us and doing some good on a Friday afternoon.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, of course, you can go to kindafunny.com/charity to keep on donating. Of course, we have all sorts of links we've tweeted out. You go to the official account, click there, find a state that it means something to you to give some money to their abortion fund, as the Supreme Court seems to be inching closer to reversing Roe v. Wade. It's something that we do not agree with and hope you don't agree with too. Remember, of course, though, this isn't just about us using our platform. It's about all of us using our platform. Everyone has to speak up, whether that's social media, but more importantly, reaching out to your representatives and, of course, going to the ballot box whenever that time comes. You need to vote. I know it's easy to get jaded. I know it's easy to sit here and say all politicians suck, but you have to understand, even if you're making the choice of a lesser evil, it's a lesser evil. We see right now what inaction has gotten us before. We need to vote for candidates and become candidates, right, that will fight for the things we care about. And so you need to make your voice heard. If there's protests in your neck of the woods, I urge you to go to them. Be safe, of course, but go to them. And really, we got to keep shaking this. And I know that's easier said than done, but it's important work we all have to keep doing.
And do what I was advised to do by some really wise people out there in the community when I didn't know what to do, which is to reach out to the local choice rights activist groups, find out their needs. There are things you can do, it turns out. I didn't know about them either, and I'm starting to learn about them, and there are concrete ways that you can help protect abortion rights besides just giving money and voting. So look for those and find out more about what those options are, please. I encourage you. Greg and Joey, I'm privileged to be a part of your lives. Thank you. Also, I'm amazed by the fact that that after several years away, the games you're playing in the office are Fortnite, Mario Party, still exactly the same games you're playing right now. I was like, wow, she was listing all the games y'all were playing today. I was like, wow, that's exactly what they were playing when I left. So that's
Time is a flat circle, Jared.
Yeah.
Jared, thank you for spending your day with us. Joey, thank you for planning this. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for all of your donations. Until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you.